not everybody had an American-made car in high school.
That's true, too.
And there's still going to be guys that are passionate and got some money to build a car. My question is, on the good guy side of things, what do you do on the foreign side, whether it's powered by American or not? Your official role as of now is what?
Director of Marketing Operations.
Damon Lee and Stephen Bunker.
Thank you for
From
having
Good
us.
Guys fame, drag racing fame, when you do a road tour with a couple of vehicles.
Big breath of fresh air into the industry and changed everything.
It was a massive rejuvenation for the whole industry. Even to this day, it was a game changer for us.
Would there be an avenue in Good Guys where you have a special area for first-time builders, first-time exhibitors, where you just stack that with first-time builders?
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I was going to
Bill's
say
dropping bangers over here.
So I hope you guys realize the power that you do have.
It gives a customer a reason to build a car. It sounds funny, and maybe to Josh's point, maybe you guys don't realize the power that you hold, but when you set these things, there are people that do build stuff specifically for it. Right?
Well, if that's the case, then don't just do one award. Put everything all together.
The award?
Cars, trucks, four-wheel drive, all that kind of stuff. If it's just about build the fucking best, sometimes you do have to have a little bit of narrowing down of genres and types and stuff like that.
They're narrowed down. They're narrowed down enough.
You don't think there's any room for any of the later muscle car stuff?
You're dancing on participation awards a little bit over there, and I don't like it. I'll be honest.
Welcome back. Another episode of Oil and Whiskey. This week we have none other than Damon Lee and Stephen Bunker.
Thank you for
From
having
Good
us.
Guys fame, drag racing fame, Editorial fame. We're doing it. We're doing dual.
We're using fame in a really loose way.
Yeah, fame is just something. It's just that's what you do.
Sounds good to the listeners.
It's professional, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, if you do it as a profession. This episode is brought to you by WeatherTech. Floor Liner HP is WeatherTech's top-tier floor mat. It's the next generation of floor mat protection after WeatherTech's best-selling flagship product, the Floor Liner.
A necessity if you care about your car and want to keep it looking pristine. New car, help maximize resale value when it's time to trade it in. Older pre-owned car, make it look better with a simple interior refresh upgrade. Mask the wear and tear. Laser measured to fit your exact make and model, with thousands of applications available for older and newer models.
No one has the depth of coverage that WeatherTech offers, constantly adding to the list with its latest vehicle releases. High-wall design for ultimate year-round protection, its raised edges contain dirt, water, sand, snow, and everyday messes, keeping that factory carpet in its original condition.
Super durable and hefty, so it lies flat, won't warp or degrade over time. Soft touch feel, nibs on the underside, and retention devices help them stay securely in place. American-made in Bolingbrook, Illinois.
Go to WeatherTech.com to check out their Floor Liner HP and find your application.
Drag race heritage, I didn't know that about you.
We got a lot to learn. We got a lot to learn in this one.
3 generations.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
They were drag racing 3 generations ago.
Oh, yeah.
I have to admit, you're going to love this because it was a faux pas on my part.
Okay.
We were talking outside with Steven, and I saw him make a post not too long ago about his brother. His brother is the crew chief for Cruz Pedregon, right?
Damn.
Pretty big deal. And they had this first win under him. It was Cruz's first in 3 years.
Yeah, 22 was the last time he won.
So big deal. We'll talk about it. This is probably not the best way to talk about it, but we're going to do that this way.
We're just diving
So
right in.
we're diving right in. Well,
after
this is a Tony Hinchcliffe situation.
Okay. Oh,
I know.
I'm
So you're
signed
on,
up, dude.
right?
I'm gonna focus in on this.
So we wanted to get into the story about his dad building drag cars, and that's kind of what it started all this. And so I said, well, how does your dad feel about you with your brother being a crew chief in the drag racing family? And it came out
About like that.
And I meant,
level.
and then it said, I didn't mean it that way. And there was no walking it back the way I was. I'm sure he's super proud. You've obviously done it really well for yourself. A great profession.
On the screw for the family.
It's like I meant it as you were in the family business and now have taken a different path. Your brother is in that business. I'm sure there's some banter that goes back and forth. However, I didn't say it like that. So I apologize.
No,
I wish you would have been there for it because you'd have loved to bust my balls about that. But
He walked it back pretty quick, but I didn't think of it that way.
as soon as it was coming out, I was like, just stop talking. Stop saying words.
It's all good.
So we're going to get right into we're going to get the background of each of you. So because there's so differences until we get into the similarities, there'll be some quiet time for each other to sit and listen to each other's stories. But that's fine.
Perfect.
You can also join in when he's telling a story at any point in time to ask your own questions or poke as much fun as you would like.
Happy to do either.
Yeah.
Encouraged.
Looks like you guys have brought a bottle along with, huh?
Yeah, so that's
Good-
from our
good
friend
guys.
at Ethos, Jesse Greening.
Who?
You've never
Jesse
heard of
Greening.
him. Never heard of him.
Never heard of him?
He's a brewer.
he's a brewer.
He's a brewer now. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a brewer.
They
Yeah,
just
brewer.
distill liquor, huh?
Yeah,
Jesse
that's what he does.
Greening Distillery.
Greening Distillery.
Ethos, and so they teamed up with us on the giveaway 44 that we just unveiled in
Yeah.
Columbus a couple weeks ago. It's a Moonshine Runner theme, so we need to have
was
some
perfect.
some whiskey in the
Some
trunk.
whiskey.
So wanted to give you guys a bottle. Bring one of those.
I appreciate it. I think that the one, it was great for Jesse to be able to get the his brand of alcohol, liquor, whiskey. But great way to do that with the Moonshine Runner theme and it's
cool.
Yeah,
little
yeah,
boxes in the back.
It all came together pretty good. It was Jesse's idea. He reached out to us, and obviously Ben York at Rose Rod and Custom that built the car. He was happy to oblige, and the whole trunk of that car is Moonshine Runner themed. It's got the rubber mat that you lift up. There's like hidden compartments underneath for moonshine.
Nice.
It's pretty cool if you guys see it. at
Yeah,
the show.
Carlos
Yeah.
mentioned. And Jesse's just full of those award-winning ideas. You know, he's
The all right, so Bunker, we're going to get into you first. You're going to tell us your background and story because we hear this all the time that good guys, those guys don't even know anything about cars. There's not car guys.
People say that.
There's no
People-
car guys that work there.
People have said that.
Is that right?
That's
It's a
what
thing.
we hear.
I don't pay a lot of attention as much as you do, so I haven't heard that honestly. But
It's been said. Well, usually it's like sour grape stuff.
There's
some,
fewer. Let's not say none. There's
fewer car
fewer.
guys.
Yeah,
So
fewer.
if you don't win an award, maybe then you're a little bitter.
People are always going to have a gripe about anything. I mean, if you think you have to park in a spot that you think your car's not worthy of, then it's going to be you're going to blame it on the guy that guy doesn't even know what he's looking at. He's not a car guy.
Yeah.
You hear the shit, but
part of
you're
the-
here to set the record straight,
Well, I don't know about straight, but just
right?
talk about talk about.
You've got a
some of
rich
my
history in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Grew up at the drag strip right when I was born, third generation drag racer. My grandfather started drag racing his wife's, my granny's 55 Chevy in the 60s. And that snowballed quickly into the early days of Pro Gas.
In California?
In California, Northern California.
Okay.
Sacramento, Redding, down to Bakersfield and whatnot. Raced a Pro Gas car, straight axle gasser, 55 Chevy
Sick.
for 20-something years, better part of 25 years. And in the late 80s, when the Pro Mod deal was coming around, Charles Carpenter, Robbie Vandergriff, all these folks on the East Coast, my grandpa and some guys out west were like, hey, let's do that, And so took the car apart, kept the roof, quarters, built a full tube chassis with it, and blown big block 1471 with a clutch and a Lenko, and started doing Pro Mod stuff back
Wow.
on the West Coast.
What year was that?
88.
88.
Yeah, so that car and that Inception was born the same year as me. That's the way I remember that, and the family remembers it.
And that was the profession.
He was a machinist by trade, worked in car dealership lots, or a mechanic shop,
Yeah.
but it was always a mechanic and whatnot. My father worked for Chassis Works, Chris Alston.
Okay.
And my dad toured the country around the same age of when I started doing this, or early 20s, doing chassis seminars on building Chris Alston's kit tube chassis. And then when Alston decided he didn't want to do the full complete car build stuff anymore and just sell components, my dad opened up his own shop. And so ever since 91, I believe, my dad's been building race cars and still does to this day.
So you would probably argue to somebody that says that there's not car guys there that you've probably been around a few cars.
Been around, yeah, but it was mostly drag racing, right?
Right.
And so when I was in elementary school, parents were split up, and so my dad would pick me up from elementary school, take me to the shop. I'd do my homework in his office on his desk, and then go out in the shop, and I would just pick up a MIG welder and just start welding scrap pieces of metal together. Eventually, that rolled into like building jig fixtures for his, tubing bender dies and whatnot, just for organizational storage racks. Middle school, high school, all those years, just kind of messed around at dad's shop. tinkering on whatever. And then out of high school, I actually went and worked for him full time, 10 years. And we toured the whole West Coast. I was helping run a pro mod association. We raced basically from Phoenix, 4 tracks in California, Boise, Idaho, out to Denver, and just running around trying to help this organization grow. While working at my dad's shop, but that obviously allowed me to go to all these races. You know, I'm not taking paid time off or anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just got to a point where through racing and going to races and when I met Mark Metters, because Mark was running a pro mod car, my brother was tuning Mark's car.
Okay.
And so when Mark would win a race, John Drummond would email me and he's like, hey, I need pictures of Mark's car. I talked to Mark that way for like 3 or 4 years.
That's quite the circle.
That's the circle, right? So it's because my brother worked on Mark's race car, and that's the way they got connected.
Yeah.
And then my brother introduced me to Drummond. Drummond and I talked back and forth. And so to make this long story short, the way that I got into Goodguys was basically through that relationship with Drummond. When Brandon Flannery left Goodguys, Drummond was like, hey, we need somebody to hit the road with us. And I have this relationship with you, so are you interested in doing that?
How'd your dad take that?
He was fine because I was working for him, like I said, for better part of probably 10 years or so out of high school. And his mentality has always been he wants the best for us. And so he's like, I can't provide you what they're doing. You're 24 years old. Go hit the road, see the country, go do it, you know, live it up. So
when you went to work for your dad full time right out of high school, what discussions did you have, if any, with yourself of like, was there even a question? Did you already knew that was like, I'm just going to do that?
No, because I was dumb. I was just the dumb teenager at the time, and all I wanted to do was drag race. It was just cars, drag race. Like, what do I have to do to go to the races?
It was just a means to it. Yeah.
It was like, this is going to be the easiest way for me to travel the country and go to drag races and work on race cars. But then when time got on and had a serious girlfriend, thinking about proposing, family, kids, marriage, life, benefits, health insurance, all that good stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
that
retirement.
whole adult thing that comes in.
That's when I was like, okay, maybe there's something else to look for here.
Yeah. So you stay in California and go to work for Goodguys.
Yep. Yeah, I was always up in Northern California. Yeah. Commuted down. This is when Goodguys was still in Pleasanton. So the first 4 years.
What kind of drive is that?
I didn't go every day. It was a day a week, and then it was 2 days a week, and it was 3. But it was, California time, 2.5 to 3 hours, but 100 miles maybe. So traffic.
Fun.
But yeah, it was one of those things where if I was laying in bed at 1 a.m. and not asleep yet, I'd just hop in the truck and drive and sleep in the parking lot. First person at the office was just knocking on the door, and they're like, "Hey, get up! It's time to get to work."
Yeah.
So,
what'd they put you on first?
Associate editor. So just photography, writing captions, working on the Gazette, doing car features, stuff like that. And then I was associate editor for 4 years until that good old COVID time hit, and stopped doing events and went into running that Fuel Curve website for 2 years.
That's cool.
Yeah, digital media editor. And then left this guy on the magazine all by himself and bounced over to marketing and to where I'm at now. So,
what year did you sign on with Goodguys?
2015. Okay. Was year 1.
Wow.
10 years.
But the number 2015 doesn't sound that long ago until you put the math to it.
Right. 10 years.
Yeah, and 10 years sounds longer than 2015.
It sure does.
Like 2015 is just like, oh, I remember, that we were at that show, we did this car, debuted this, but then 10 years. Shit, that sounds like. When you went to work for them, did you tell Drummond and everybody like, this is easy? So we just call up other people that hang out at cars and just get the pictures from them. We don't even have to do anything, because that's basically what he was doing.
Basically. No, it was actually pretty funny. It wasn't the easiest transition. And it wasn't just a handed, like, fell in my lap and given to me thing. Like, I got ran through 2 interview processes. There was a guy at Goodguys that was against hiring me.
Who was that?
I'm not saying.
you almost got it.
I was the way I delivered that.
Yeah, that was good. That's probably the best it's been.
It wasn't that. Yeah, but anyways, I'll always credit Drummond for where I'm at and everything that I've gotten through this industry, because on interview round 2, he basically said, I'd rather teach a car guy how to write than a writer about cars.
So true.
Yeah. And it wasn't like writing wasn't like foreign to me, because I was writing race coverage, doing website, photography with drag racing and everything.
Yeah.
So I still knew how to put.
If you're
words
building that
together.
organization too, trying to get it going
Yeah.
over time, it's very similar type things.
Like I worked with like Wes Buck with Drag Illustrated, but a couple online websites, Competition Plus, Drag Racing Online back in the day. So writing about cars wasn't foreign, but I don't know like the MLA format. But
Well,
we're
let's
gonna
be
write that
honest.
way.
It's all car guys. Nobody's really like hyper focused on the grammar.
Yeah, where the
Right,
comment
like-
is like,
One fucking big run-on sentence works.
Except Bill Goodall, who was an English literature major.
Yeah, he was.
There you go.
that's what editors are for.
Exactly.
Say here's 95%, fix the other. Yep.
You've used badass 13 times in that paragraph. Yeah.
Let's change it to sick.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So come in, move into marketing. Your official role as of now is what?
Director of Marketing Operations.
Which means
Exactly.
different thing. Every
See,
day.
now
Different
this is what I was wanting.
There we go.
That's now we're
Yes,
getting to it.
yes. So I'm
Choose fire,
still
put her outer.
I still am involved with the marketing aspects of Good Guys, from the creative, promo videos that we produce for every event, the digital ads and the campaigns that we run and everything.
Right.
When we go to a Grand National Roadshow show or an auxiliary event, running a display booth about Good Guys. And then the operation stuff comes in because any of the indoor special displays that we do, indoor car shows, the awards program, stuff like that at the events to help the operation team just make sure the events run smoothly.
Right. Well, 2015 in Good Guys was really kind of the start of some very transitional times. Like that was kind of the start of things they moved to Texas, what, 2018?
2020. Or was it 21?
21, I think.
21. It was
Right
back
out of
over.
right out of, don't say COVID. You got to say pandemic.
Pandemic.
Yeah,
My
this-
bad.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
They don't like that word.
The pandemic.
Yeah. But there's things. There's people transitioning out. There's new people coming in. There's also from the outside looking, there's definitely a change in. There's a change in the audience. I mean, everybody's being aware of continuing to further down the younger crowd, and you got year changes going on. There's lots of changes from 2015 even to now in Good Guys. Marketing wise, I've seen it a lot over the last 2 years as far as videos, the amount of them, the quality of them, the cadence, and how much more connected it is to like car guy stuff versus. And this is not digs at Good Guys.
There's a progression
Times
in everything.
change.
Yeah. there's
Yeah,
progression.
times change.
There
People,
for the
the
compliment.
audience.
It's trending in the right direction.
It's 100% trending,
It's
but
doing
you're moving away
great.
from a more bebop kind of thing into hipper, and you've seen that over the last 10 years. Sometimes it doesn't go as fast as probably what anybody would like, but it is a natural progression, and it's all for the positive. It's a huge change.
David
Yeah.
used to do it, so you're not really insulting him, except that he's right there.
No,
just kidding.
I'm not saying that you ever did anything. Everything was wrong. Like you said, it's a progression. I mean, there's music styles change, and it's not like old music was done the wrong way.
Well, some of that I would say I would credit Matt Kuchin, our social media. I don't know what his title is.
Director of social media.
Director of social media, or director of digital media.
Digital media.
He's been here for 2 years, a little bit more, and he's a younger guy.
Yeah.
And he gets it, And I think for Good Guys, for a long time, like a lot of companies, social media was sort of it's somebody's extra duty.
Yeah.
And so
You didn't have that
and
position
so
before,
it looks
right?
so it looks like that. And so when you get somebody who's really dedicated, wants to learn the stuff, gets to know the people, wants to put some energy into it, it shows. So it's cool to hear you guys say that you notice it.
It's obvious change, and it's good for the positive. He's the one of the better looking people that you've got working.
That would be an accurate statement.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. I was trying to put the.
You know which one I'm
White
talking about.
T-shirt, OBS giveaway shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You tell it he's cool, he's hip. Yeah.
He is. Yeah, he's a good guy. He comes from.
Not that you guys aren't.
We all know.
To a certain level.
To a level. He's the guy on the camera. Yeah, he's knocking social media out of the park. But he came from like the rodeo world.
Really?
Yeah, like he I don't know how serious he is because he can't take half the things he say truthfully. But he says he always wanted to be a rodeo clown, and I could see it. But yeah, he comes from rodeo, and then we hired him out of the power sports world where he was working for like
I wouldn't
Polaris
cover
and
that
Harley
face
Davidson.
up with any fucking clown shit.
Yeah, he-
Supposedly, and I don't want to be talking out of school. Supposedly, the rodeo clown scene does very well.
with the ladies.
Barrel
there's,
racers.
There's only a certain amount of cowboys to go around, and there's a larger group of buckle bunnies than there is. So the rodeo clowns do really well.
Really?
Yeah, if you care about that
I'd
type
like
of
to.
thing.
Yeah, I'd like to get a little behind the scenes of what goes on in that. It's probably a wild environment.
Oh, I can't imagine. I mean,
yeah,
it's
no,
a
there was like a
cowboy carny.
schooling that he went to. Like he honestly like suffered a performance injury, like tore his ACL, and like that ruined his rodeo
Those
career.
are full-blown athletes. Like,
Absolutely.
if you've ever watched
I can see that.
the rodeo, those dudes are, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to
wild.
have an injury being chased by a bull. So
No.
I mean, it's very similar to a good guy show when you like the buckle buddies kind of thing, right? Like you go back to the hotel and it's like you're just
Fighting them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with sticks, you're just beating them.
Yeah, that's the exact
They're like,
opposite.
Oh, you guys are from the roadster shop. I said, oh wow. They're just throwing themselves at you.
You could get an injury getting run down by a errant scooter somewhere in the parking lot, but you're not going to get a buckle bunny.
Much more likely for that to happen. Yeah.
We had Mike Good from PRI on this week. We also had Tom and Warren on from SEMA, and we brought this question up, and it's tricky. They both took the corporate stance, about this question, and I'm going to ask it for Good Guys. Short of full-blown ADA compliance, the scooter situation. There's had to have been discussions about that, and I get that there is absolutely a need. We all, like off camera, have to admit that is abused.
Well, there's handicapped and then there's lazy, right?
Well, I was saying it nice,
Oh, which is
but
cut
yes.
right to it. We don't need to. You're like
Right.
you're dancing around it. Over
But you also, they touched on that you really can't say no, because if somebody says I need one, then they get one.
yeah, it's like how you can't ask for the papers of like a service dog.
Yeah.
Right,
Correct.
like because like we don't allow pets, but like service dogs, but you're not allowed to say is that a service dog? And
But if I park in a handicapped spot without my blue hanger, they don't ask me to give me a ticket. They give me a ticket.
What about like Dave and Kev Dog riding wheelies through the show?
Yeah, they're
on,
David. You get away with that stuff.
that's when Matt takes video and puts it on social.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it is funny though, but the type of person that would say, yes, I need one, to your lazy point, also has, which it makes sense, they have absolutely no sense of awareness,
Self-awareness.
self-awareness, or respect for a booth, a display, a car,
It's spatial
a child,
awareness, too.
spatial. Yeah, like it's wild to see.
I just wish we could somehow create special lanes for them, because that's the thing that frustrates our visual team is you got this great shot lined up of cars and then you got like 4 scooters coming across.
Yeah.
How many, off the record, how many cover shots have that had to be photoshopped out of?
Not that many, really.
Okay,
but,
you just-
but certainly a handful. I mean, usually we shoot enough that we can
Always get
pick
it.
one without, but it has killed a lot of shots. Yeah,
We
that's
have
for sure.
quite possibly the best mobility scooter story at it wasn't a Good Guy show. It was at Shades of the Past, right?
Oh,
We had 2 customers. One customer who needed one, and one customer who just wanted to borrow it. An older guy too.
You're not gonna tell the
No, we're not going to name
customers'
names. We're not going to name names.
two
here, but
famous customers.
very famous customers. Famous customer number 1 needed the scooter. Famous customer 2 didn't need it, but he just felt like borrowing it to go see a car that he didn't feel like walking. And as he comes back to the booth, famous customer number 2 just fucking whiskey throttle hanger coming into the booth, and you could see it in his eyes as he rounded the corner.
This has gotten away
under
from
the
me.
tent. This thing is pinned, and it's
It's somehow it picked up boost. They'd only go 15. Somehow this one was going 47.
It's like Mario Kart.
Yes.
Yeah, and it comes in, and it was like kind of last minute, kicks the foot out, just thinking about maybe I could stop this thing. Other than that, complete disregard. Just continues with the whiskey throttle, and just cranks the side of our truck, our rig. I thought it totaled the fucking rig. I mean, it was violent. The scooter
it
goes
shook.
flying up in the back. He goes flying up over the handlebars. And what was the response?
That thing got away from you, didn't it?
But then it was, Jesus, this truck's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Customer
Dude,
customer
you just-
2, he's like, this thing's falling apart. Look at this thing.
Yeah, you just fucking hit it
You moved the
45 miles an hour.
the toter and the stacker over a foot, the entire thing with the
Right.
tent and everything. Yeah, it was a hit.
Yeah, whiskey throttle's never fun.
No. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, sorry to get on the scooter thing, but it is it's people that run the circuit know exactly what we're talking about, and it's difficult.
I just think the fact that it didn't come on 10 to 15 years earlier probably saved our careers. Because if we were able to get on them,
Yeah,
We got on some golf carts.
yeah, we wouldn't be allowed back at most of these shows.
there's another show that happens that it gets way more carried away at. It's a more targeted demo. Another show at another location. Now those there's that little switch that's under there. There's a little red tab.
Yes.
That's fun, especially when they're all parked in line. Click all those tabs and then just hang
Is
back.
it like a neutral switch?
Yeah,
It locks them up.
Yeah, it's the neutral thing to roll. But so when they get in to go, it no go.
They're just sitting there revving them.
Watch about 15 or 20 of those that don't go while you're sitting 15 foot away. That is fun. And they also, the level of anger, because they have places to be and it's not working. That's fun. Fun times.
So like, why the hell did we agree to do
Yeah.
this podcast?
I told you, are you sure?
You're going to need one with all this coughing.
I'm dying. I'm full blown dying. Back to Good Guys. So talked about the changes, talked about the direction. I know this isn't exactly your wheelhouses, the actual event planning, but it's all part of the thing. From the event itself and the magazine, what talk us through the delicate balance, if there is, on your different audiences? Because on the event side, you've got car show bringers, right? I'm driving my show. I'm driving my car to the event. Then you've got your builders, building cars, debuting cars, going for awards. Then you've got exhibitors. Then you have, this is an event. I'm local. I'm going to see whatever it is. It could have been cars. It could have been trucks. It could have been big rigs.
Entertainment.
It's entertainment, right? It's gate, right? Thing. All of those have their own unique set of challenges, their own unique complaints. They also all think that their group is the most important group. 100%. Magazine is somewhat same, but you don't have really the gate side of things, right? But you've got builders. Well, I bought an ad and I did this. Your picture's only this big. It should be this big. When you're laying things out and you're trying to cater to all these audiences, I'm interested to hear, how much is that going through your head? How are you cognizant of it? How do you try to, or does it even matter?
I think it's all going through my head. But at the end of the day, I've always felt that our role with magazine is to give a flavor of the event for the person who wasn't there. So if somebody wasn't there, give them a good overview of what was there. And there were some pretty good systems in place when I came on board, and I'm pretty sure that Drummond kind of established those. But that I feel like gives us a good way to kind of show a pretty good spectrum of the types of cars and stuff that were there. So, we always do pretty consistent size photos and a little bit longer captions for the Builder's Choice Top 10 cars. And most of those are going to be pro builds. Those are some of your debut cars, that sort of thing. We like the fact that some of the Builder's Choice selectors, and you guys did it, I think, this year in Columbus, you pick some home-built stuff or some maybe not the super, super high-end level, just stuff that, like, trips your trigger. Like, this is really cool.
We like to treat it as a pick.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that fucking van is awesome.
It should have your flavor on it. Something that
Well, and I
interests
think that's what Good Guys Awards have always been. That, most of our awards are called picks because it's not. That's one of the biggest arguments we get in, I think, with kind of the car show guy, is the people who say like, well, I didn't see anybody judge.
You didn't judge my car.
Yeah, well, so it's
No,
not,
you're
it's
right.
Not, it's not
We
really
did not.
a judge's
Not walking
thing.
around with a judge sheet.
Right. You're right. We did not.
And I think that, to my knowledge, that goes back to Gary. Gary was not like a huge awards guy, but he wanted to recognize, cool cars and stuff like that. But you call it a pick because it's like you see that car from across the parking lot and you're like, that's bitching.
Yep.
And it doesn't make
You could also judge cars across parking lots.
Yes.
yeah, you're judging it. It's just not.
I judged it.
Yeah.
You didn't look at my car. No, I did.
I did. I absolutely did.
I judged it accordingly.
but so I think in that respect also a guy who doesn't have $1 million car can still get an award at a Good Guys event if it's just a car that sits right, looks right, just has a cool attitude to it, whatever. But kind of back to the Gazette thing, so we do, we always do a couple of pages for the Builder's Choice cars. We typically do 5 pages for award winners, and then we do, anywhere from 25 to 50 what we call car portraits that are just, the average guy's car or the car that maybe wasn't in the Builder's Choice area that was just kind of out in the field that we thought was kind of cool or got a good shot of.
Yeah.
And then we just, the rest of it we kind of try and mix in. It's like, well, we get the model car make and take or some vendor booths or, things like that to just remind people that there was stuff at the event that goes beyond just the cars.
Is it hard to try to capture the feeling of each event? Because a lot of them are pretty drastically different. And like give the person reading the magazine the feel as if they
The
were there.
vibe of it kind of. That can be a little bit challenging. I think we all just sort of intuitively know some of those differences, and I think sometimes how we shoot may kind of affect how that's presented, how it comes across. And there are certain events where we, obviously the bigger events tend to get a little bit more space, so you have a little bit more room to show some of those, the parking lot at the Crown in Columbus or, things like that.
Cruising in Puyallup or Des Moines.
Yeah, cruising in
some of
yeah.
these events write themselves,
Yeah.
Make it
It
pretty clear.
seems like the cover kind of like sets the stage for a lot of them too. And like, this is the Rocky Mountain Nationals or whatever the Colorado show is. And that's in the background. And it just kind of makes you feel like you were there.
Yeah, that's the goal. Well, and a good example is the October issue that just came out. It has our Des Moines coverage, our Heartland Nationals coverage in it, and the last few years we've had the giveaway car on the cover of the October issue, so it didn't really matter that much. And this year we were holding that feature for the December issue, so it's just a really cool cruising shot. And if you've been to the Heartland Nationals, you know that Grand Avenue is just a constant stream of guys cruising, and so it's nice to be able to kind of bring that flavor and say, hey, it was like that's just a big summertime party in my mind.
On the event side, how does that break down on laying those different audiences and those different groups?
Yeah, so on the marketing side, it's participants and spectators. Participants are the car folks and the vendors and whatnot, industry people. Spectators, it's a front gate. They're just walking out to look at cars today. And our marketing efforts really go into that as well, because we make different creative video, digital, static banners and GIF ads and whatnot for talking to the participants and the spectators. And, we use our email database to work with an agency and target all those people, right? So we definitely have a hard divide between the two of them, because we're talking about selling, registrations to one group of people, and the other group, it's like, hey, come on out, it's a family fun event. We'll push more of the free kids make and take type stuff and some of those aspects of the families.
I mean, let's face it, because this is a business. You have to generate income for the business to continue to go. Like,
Well, of course.
like George always said, somebody's got to pay for all this fun we're having, right? So, listening to all the individual, bitch and moan and complain and stuff like that is like, well, yeah, we have gate is important, right? Marketing to these people, like this is. You guys want a lot of things. Like, we got to pay for all these things you guys want.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. Like, some of the stuff the car guys don't like, right? Like, we do burnout contests at some events. We get some complaints at autocross.
What
Like,
car
man,
guy doesn't like burnouts?
I don't know, man.
You really get complaints?
Yeah, we don't do it at every event because
What is the complaint? Like, is it a safety
the
thing?
smoke,
Is it
the
a noise?
the loud,
Well, some people complain because we have.
rubber float through the air landing on their cars.
Yeah, well, some people complain because the way we do it is not the
not
burnout donut box that
Okay.
some places can do it. We,
There's
we
an
have,
industry
You're
standard.
doing a burnout. You ain't doing enough burnout. Like,
Right, yeah.
Stop doing burnouts.
It's
Do
not reckless.
burnouts better.
It's not reckless enough. We want it to be. We want some. You know,
I
we
can't.
want more
I
danger.
can't imagine.
Yeah. But some of those events and features that we do are geared towards the spectator, because we're trying to justify them spending the money that they spend at the gate to bring a family of 4 out to enjoy a day at Good Guys.
Right.
So there's a fine line. And
It is. I mean, you're juggling a lot of different audiences, a lot of different customers
Yeah.
for a very similar product, but the product is
they gotta
marketed differently to each one.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So coming into Good Guys, you're doing your thing. We're there now. Now we've got to pick up Damon. Like, you've been around this for a long time.
I have been. Yeah, pretty much my whole life. I mean, like Steven, second generation car guy. My dad has been into cars, his whole life, and actually got my editorial thing from him as well. He actually started freelancing for car magazines. I'm going to get this wrong. It's somewhere around 1959, 1960.
Oh, wow.
Like while he was in college.
Damn.
And the whole time I was growing up, he was freelancing, and so I learned. I just was tagging along to car shows with him as long as I can remember. Picked up my first camera at 10, started taking pictures as well, and so the going to shows, being a part of the car world was always the connection that I had with my dad. Like Steven as well, my parents were split up, and my dad lived out of state for a while. So, like, our annual car show summer trip was, probably some of the most time that I spent with my dad every year, and was our, ritual, our routine every year. And never really thought that I could really go into it professionally. I thought, well, maybe I'll freelance, and but I did end up pursuing journalism in college, and a year out of college, had the opportunity to move to Southern California, and knew a few people it was McMullen Argus Publishing at the time.
McMullen Argus.
And this was 1996, and so sent a resume out to Tom Vogley, who's the editor of Street Scene now. And he was at Street Rodder at the time, and
That dude has been around forever.
absolutely, yeah. And I had met him a few times before, and he was. He said, well, we don't have any openings at Street Rodder or at Custom Rodder right now, but Terry Cole down the hall at Super Chevy, he's looking for somebody. I'm going to pass along your resume to him. So I interviewed with him, and 6 weeks later moved to Southern California and started at Super Chevy Magazine, and then was at McMullen Argus, and it became Prime Media and then Source Interlink for about 11 years. And so was at Super Chevy, Classic Trucks, Rod and Custom, and Custom Rodder Magazine. And then
Long live Custom Rodder.
absolutely, that was where I always wanted to be, and that's where I ended up. And
Custom Rodder was I always had a hard time figuring out what exactly it was.
the goal for that
love
magazine,
Custom Rodder.
and it was hard, man. It was always a hard sell to advertisers, to everybody else, but and it's kind of frustrating why it was a hard sell, because it was really truly an emerging market, because it was really supposed to be Street Rodder for 49 to mid 60s cars.
Big cars
There was a
on the ground,
hard-
big wheels.
There was a hard line in the sand on anything post 40 for Street Rodder, or 48.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's
big.
Yeah, at the time there was a hard line, but the challenge with Custom Rodder is we were trying to please both the white wall and fender skirt guy and the
20-inch
the
billet
20-inch Impala bagged Impala guy, and it was kind of a hard line to walk, or a little bit of a hard balance, and especially because it was an every other month magazine. And it was limited page count. I think if it were monthly and you could, fit a little bit more in, and you'd appease more people.
But it was really, there was so much. Rod and Custom, at that point too, there was so much content for Rod and Custom that then Custom Rodder, you can be like, all right, well, we got to have a
Custom
couple of
was
badass
traditional.
hot rods, and we got to have a couple of cool customs. But now we've got like Galaxies and all this just bagged on. That's
Every time I
landed
think
in
of
Custom Rodder.
Custom Rodder, I'm not going to say anything else. I just think of like a Tim Strange feature in Custom Rodder.
Yeah. Well, it was again like 49 and late. It was big cars on the ground with big wheels.
Yeah.
At that, late 90s, early 2000s push. I loved it.
Yeah, and it was my favorite
Damon
place to be.
shoot Chad's Nomad?
Yeah, it was one of the first.
yeah,
it was
black
one
and
of the
green.
first builds to come out of you guys.
At
Come
Indy?
out of the Roadster shop before or right after
Before
you
we-
guys bought Roadster shop.
At Indy?
No, I think he shot it in
I shot,
Elgin.
I remember coming to Elgin and shooting.
Yeah.
I don't remember how that came
was-
about.
That was
What?
Custom Rodder.
Yeah.
Right?
Was it?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching at Indy when y'all were out in the parking lot washing it.
Yeah.
Chad's Nomad. Before I even knew you guys, I was like, man, that's so fucking cool. That's the Roadster Shop guys.
That was a cool car.
I bet those dudes are cool.
I wonder where that car ended
Turns
up.
out they're not.
Oh,
No,
bullshit.
y'all are cool. You're cool.
Bullshit.
Where that car
Does
went.
anybody know about how do you track that car down? That was
It sold at Barrett's. He'd have to get it
and
through.
it just disappeared.
There are so many
Yeah.
cars like that, though. That
Yeah.
you're like, where is
Yeah.
that car?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Well, that's like I reached out
car.
to you a few years ago, texted you. I went to a local consignment shop in Sacramento, and there was a black Chevelle that Roadster Shop built, and I was like, "What is?" I never saw it or anything, and
Yeah.
I was like, "How the heck's this thing out in Sacramento?"
It was a couple
California?"
$1 million there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely,
Yeah, sounds about right.
Bezos.
Yeah, they
bought
were-
it.
But they just end up everywhere. Like these, some of these cars just disappear.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did our
it's funny.
C1 RS Corvette, sold it at auction. Went to the guy on stage, we're like, hey, we'll meet you afterwards. We'll show you how everything works. He just looked at us like, yeah, okay. Turned and walked away. And I think the car popped up on like some tuner's YouTube page once, and we
Yeah,
haven't seen it
one
in
little
10 years.
Snippet of it.
Gone.
Yeah, somebody's private collection somewhere.
Cold wind.
So custom rodder and hard sell. Where are we at now?
So when they pulled the plug on Custom Rodder, I actually went back to the Rod and Custom staff for a few months. But about that same time, had an opportunity, had a couple of young kids, had an opportunity to move back to Nebraska, get a job with Speedway Motors, doing PR, marketing stuff back there. That's where I'm from. That's where I grew up.
Really?
So took that leap and was at Speedway for 10 years, doing a variety of different marketing type things. And it's
That's when they actually had they started having cool booths, the Speedway Garage,
Absolutely.
and stuff. I remember.
I'll take
I
a little
remember,
bit of credit for that.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm
Speedy Bill was
Been around a
still
long time.
at the helm.
Yep. Speedy Bill was still there, and then it's kind of funny to hear Steven's story because John Drummond kind of plays into my me coming to Goodguys as well because he was editing the Gazette for a couple of years, and when they really wanted to launch Fuel Curve and kind of get into that digital world, he decided he wanted to take on that role of the digital editor, and so they were like, well, we needed somebody to edit the magazine. And both he and Ed Capon, had a pretty good relationship with me, and they were like, oh, we kind of need somebody like that. And so they reached out, and at the time I was freshly divorced and all that sort of thing, and so I said, well, would love the opportunity, but I can't move. My kids are here. So, and they were actually kind of prepared for that and willing to give it a try of me working remote. And so, yeah, I decided to leap back into the deadline world, which I'm still not so sure about.
And how long ago was that?
That was spring of 2017. So my first event as a Goodguys employee was Del Mar 2017.
Remember meeting him at the airport, check-in, and saying, "Hey, I'm your associate editor. Let's hop in this rental
Saying,
car and go to work."
Who's this dude?
Like, you're my new boss. Let's go.
Let's go.
Dude, John Drummond keeps coming up, which I'm going to throw something out there. I'm going to say something that just I'm seeing it, and tell me if this resonates with you. I feel like John Drummond, for whatever reason, I feel like he's the guy that somehow you run into him at like an all-inclusive resort in like Punta Cana, or like you're in like Minnesota at the Mall of America.
Yeah.
Like,
Umbrella
John.
drink.
Like, John?
How's it going?
John, like, maybe it's that I saw him somewhere weird, but John, he's just like that. Not like John, so I'm not like, it's not,
Like
it's just
John a
a
lot.
weird thing about like,
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised by that.
No, you
Not at
wouldn't.
all.
You
No,
just
Drummond's that dude.
Yeah.
flip
I don't
flops
know what it
Hawaiian
is, but
shirt.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
John.
He just took a solo vacation for 2 weeks to Iceland or something.
To go fishing.
To go
Yeah.
fishing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
What's he doing now?
oh, I don't know what the exact title is or anything, but he's working for the bottling company.
He's still
Scott,
with that
Scott Hallway's bottle
liquor
company.
company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bottle- yeah.
Sales,
Yeah, good-
basically.
good.
It's not liquor. They do mixers. It's the
Yeah.
they make the mixer juice
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
To go in the
to go
To
in
go
the
in the
liquor.
liquor.
There you go. Yeah.
yeah. John was instrumental in a lot of people's lives for all different types of ways.
Yeah, he was just one of those guys that was so connected to so many people.
Yeah. No, it
Or is one of those guys, I should say.
Yeah, he stays connected.
Yeah.
He was a good guy for 22 or 5 years.
I thought it was 26.
Yeah.
Gee, it was
It's
a
up there.
long time when he left.
Yeah, his stories of the early Good Guys stuff is hilarious.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
That'd be a good
Yeah.
episode.
That'd be a good episode.
That's what I'd love to hear, man. What would you consider the early Good Guys? I mean, early 2000s, mid 90s. Like, what's
I would say
what's the heyday?
I would say, well, when I think of early Good Guys, I think 90s, but that's because that's kind of my introduction
Right.
to Good Guys.
I would agree. I'd say
Yeah.
90s to 2000s transition.
Yeah.
Like, I just remember
So-
the Adams Mark indie era, the early
Yeah.
2000s was I don't know if that was riding like right off like the biker build off era. And it's like you almost felt like hot rodders were kind of cool for that short period of time. Right? Yeah, guys are doing fucking burnouts and you're partying your ass off in the parking lot, and it was
If that wasn't
they're
for
these
Mother Nature
crazy colorful
at that show
personalities.
every single year, that's still one of
Oh,
the
yeah,
best.
just-
Yeah,
Right.
no, that was I
was a
remember.
wild
I
time.
remember those indie events were awesome because I was covering them at the time at my previous publishing job, and it was always fun to go to those. And that's where so many builders were trying to debut cars. Was at Indy.
Do you feel, when you think back, we talk about Indy a lot, don't you feel like you were there, you got up way earlier? Like it was always
was gonna
misty, and
ask.
it was like 5 o'clock. It felt like
That's-
5 or
no,
6 in the
'cause
morning.
you did.
Yeah,
You-
I don't
you
want to
had
like.
to.
I don't want to go back to this, but what happened? We used to have to get up at like 4 in the morning to get in line to get into the Builder's Choice, and now you can roll in at like 8 and get into the Builder's Choice, Pros Pick, whatever. Do you know why that changed? And thank God it did, because I'm not a morning person. But
I don't. Good Guys Indy to me was never at the racetrack. My first year was the last year that we did Indy at the fairgrounds.
Oh.
So I don't have any
Gotcha.
memories of Good Guys Indies that the way it spoke about to everybody else. But
I
was
think,
Columbus
I
was
think
the
now
same
though.
way.
I think now though we've just at certain events we've just made the Builder's Choice areas larger.
That was
Yeah.
one thing.
Is-
It was
is
not
part of it.
better
that
organization,
big.
maybe.
yeah.
The area wasn't that big.
I mean,
It-
Columbus,
you
remember,
could-
you'd line up at 4 o'clock in the morning behind all the
Oh my God.
stalls
Yeah.
there, and you'd get there at 4, and then you wouldn't get in till like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
I think everybody all at once said, "No,
And we're done.
we're not doing this anymore."
That's part of it, probably. Yeah.
I mean, since I was never there, do you think it could have been of the Boyd Coddington, right, fame and everything, making the pros?
I mean, it
picks out there?
definitely, yeah. But I don't know. It's some of this stuff
There
is just
were- it's not like
memories,
there were
right?
any
Because
more
it
cars,
it
right?
took
Yeah.
it was so long ago. I mean, we're talking 15. Shit, no,
way longer than that. Good Guys Indy is
18,
probably
19
20.
years
More
ago.
about 20,
Yeah.
Gee, but there should, when you were talking about capturing the essence of a event in the Good Guys Gazette, I think you should do a limited edition, like 2001 Good Guys Indie throwback. Soak that fucker in water and then tuck it in plastic bags, and send them out. So you just have this sopping wet,
Yeah.
The smell.
misty, yeah.
Print
Take
it
you
on
back.
newspaper.
Yeah,
So what?
God, it was
Such a
so-
time.
it was. You'd spend 3/4 of the event in the rig because it was pouring rain, and then
Yeah.
the rest trenching through mud. But then
But people
The
still showed
ward-
up though.
Yeah.
That's what's awesome is we've the last couple of seasons we've talked about how it's not the weather, the actual event weekend, it's the forecast the Tuesday before
Yeah.
that can kill an event weekend, because people start seeing rain in the forecast on Tuesday and they start canceling hotel rooms and stuff like that. It's like, man, those indie days, and even Des Moines, I think to a certain degree, people just and still now in Des Moines, but like they're cool with rolling even if it's raining.
Yeah.
And then there are other parts of the
Columbus
country
this
where yeah.
we had a little.
A little bit. It's sprinkled,
inclement
right?
weather.
Sprinkled a little bit.
That one came.
It was like 18
down.
seconds.
Don't.
Columbus has gotten on a run too, where it's Sunday at like 1:50, it goes black, and you're like, this is bad timing, worst timing. We're gonna put everything up wet. You
Yep.
got cars in line ready to go to the thing. But that little storm that popped through Columbus was
That's gnarly.
Yeah, that was a big one.
At least
it was like a surprise.
At least it waited till mid-afternoon on Saturday, though.
Yeah,
because
Yeah,
that's
Des
a lot. That's the time that a lot of people start rolling out.
Des Moines Saturday rain the week before Columbus was from 11 to 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Like peak time.
unfortunate. Yeah.
that's a kick.
Yeah. we need that. Like,
It wasn't super stormy, but it was just consistent.
yeah, it wasn't a flood like Columbus, but yeah, we got beat up 2 Saturdays in a row.
But that's the world of outdoor events.
That's
You know,
tough.
that's
Yeah,
the
it's
role.
tough to
You roll the
plan
dice
around.
on that stuff.
You guys are here specifically to do this podcast, and just so happens to be a
Just
road
because
tour
they like
going
us so
through.
much,
Right.
then they know that this
You
is
got
such a great
75.
platform.
You got 75 other hot rodders to follow you down here, drive all the way across country, and do
Just
just to do the podcast.
That's right.
So that's pretty cool.
They're actually all
So-
they're all everybody. You can't see it on camera.
Hey,
but
everybody's off camera. Hey, wave everybody.
There's risers over there. Yeah.
they're clapping.
So road tours. We're going to talk about those a little bit. What was your first road tour you ever went on?
2015, it was when we went from Colorado to Bowling Green on back-to-back weekends, back-to-back events.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one for me.
Colorado to Texas, then to Bowling Green, right?
No, I think it just went Colorado straight to Bowling Green on back-to-back weekends.
Okay.
2015.
That was before they basically all ended in Texas.
Yeah. We may have went. We might have went through Texas, but we didn't stay at a Texas event.
Clip Texas.
Yeah.
That we've talked about it a lot on here. It's funny because we remember what we remember, right? We're all similar age. You talk about early good guys. And we're like, oh, late '90s, early 2000s, right? There's people that been doing this a lot longer, and I know that Gary was really big on tours, driving.
Absolutely. He drove everywhere.
You got to drive them. It's they drove everything, and then there was a time as the cars continued to get crazier and crazier and crazier, that didn't happen as much. You guys brought that back with the road tours, and it really, for everybody that we know in our group, especially for our company, right? It really changed a lot of directions from customers to builders, and I know it's changed the direction that we did specifically when you do a road tour with a couple of vehicles.
Big breath of fresh air into the industry, and
It was,
changed everything.
I mean, remember the first few, like all of us saying the same thing of like, this is the most fun we've had with cars in a long time. Not that what we were doing was not fun. You didn't look at it as like, oh, this sucks. But when you do something, you're like, I just want to do this.
Right.
Let's just build everything to do these. Let's just do these. And you have great time with the customers and stuff. And it was, you think about how every single one, the next car you're building, you build it differently specifically for that.
It was a massive like rejuvenation for the whole industry. Even to this day, like we'll be sending stuff back and forth on like Facebook Marketplace, and it's always like, dude, how cool would this be for like a road tour car? You know, and you just your mind's always thinking of like the cool shit and how your style has evolved and the way you build a car as a result of that. That was a game changer for us.
I think it's a huge deal, and to kind of further that point is, I mean, the people that do our Hall of Fame road tour year to year, it's probably 80 to 90% people who have either done it before or the same people do it every single year, and because they just have that much fun and want to do it. They want to do it again, and obviously you kind of develop a network of friends of people who do it, and so you like to spend the week hanging out with those people that you maybe only see that 1 week a year.
Yep.
But it's also it was kind of what all this stuff was supposed to be about. When you think back to like the 70s, like the whole street rod movement in the 70s, they were called rod runs because a lot of times driving to that event was part of the deal. And yeah, like yesterday we went from Mackinac City up over the Upper Peninsula down into Green Bay, and the first 5 hours of the day was just driving, and it was the coolest thing, especially because it was a scenic 2-lane road and just lots of cool scenery, and an easy drive, not a lot of traffic, and just everybody kind of breaks into clusters, so you're usually running with 3 to 5 other vehicles, but it's just so cool to be running through beautiful American scenery,
right,
back roads and that sort of thing, and seeing cool cars rolling down the road with you.
And yeah, it's a lot of fun to be able to use them, and then you're also, it's a sense of accomplishment and pride when you're building it to do the certain thing, and it's comfortable to do it, and it does it with no issues, and
you make it to the end.
You make it to the end. It's not it's a pendulum swing as well, because there's so many different eras you can start thinking about. Even in the custom rodder days, when the custom rodder was like on its heyday, you were taking that, whatever that car was, fucking Edsel, bubble top, a wagon, just put it on the ground, big wheels and tires, right? Cool paint, maybe lace the roof, some flames, something like that. You could drive it, but you weren't building that car to drive.
Yeah.
Right?
It would run.
It would run.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing. You look at the heyday of street rods. As crazy as street rods got, as big as in Detroit and all the street rod of the year and all these crazy.
That got significantly less on the driving and running side to
100%. That's
on and off the trailer. And
and because to chase the style and the trends and the magazine covers and the awards and stuff like that, you had to push the envelope to a point where it was nothing about driving. You put the components on, but I mean, let's face it, chrome rotors, completely chrome suspension, no rock guard underneath, completely slicked out running boards.
no weather strips.
Whether it could do it or not, you did not build it to do that, right? And it was probably not in anybody's best financial interest for you to try. Same thing on Street Machine of the Year. Street Machine of the Year, even before autocross and stuff, Street Machine of the Year was a different style. That was a modern pro street, if you will.
Yeah, it was.
Right? And they weren't, you used components to make them look a certain way, but you weren't building them to do the things like they looked like they should do.
They were fairgrounds cruisers.
Yeah, Street Machine of the Year progressed from the Pro Street era. Like the first ones in the mid 90s, I think 96, 97, were Pro Street Tri-5s and whatnot.
Yeah. So then, as you know, the pendulum shifts, if it's from governing bodies like you guys, Goodguys, if it's a group of people saying like, I'm trying to do this, I want to try to do this, the pendulum shifts, and then sometimes you've directed it, right? Let's talk about Street Machine of the Year. Talk about autocross. There was a time, specifically, you were like, all right, you guys keep building these cars like a certain way and say they're going to do these things, show us what they'll do. That changed how you built cars. Sometimes people had to catch up, right? That went on for a little while. So then you saw the style of the cars change to build for a certain way. But then they get to a certain point, and now you're like, oh, like
It's a full-blown race car.
That's a full-blown race car. Like, are we now? You've pushed it, and then you got to like swing the pendulum back. It's really weird how sometimes I'm speaking of Goodguys specific when I say you. Sometimes you're chasing, and sometimes you're pushing.
What was the reasoning for killing the autocross on the Street Machine stuff? What's the thought process there?
Yeah, so the thought there was
someone had too many of the fastest times
Is
in
that
a
what it
row.
is?
yeah, Phil just kept.
You could hang that.
That was
Kyle sent a nasty letter. He's like,
It
this
was
is
pulling his,
over.
He's pulling his boot spaces.
I'm never gonna go back again.
Street Machine of
Sold
the
his
Year.
company out of it.
We got the top 12 program. Two of them are very similar. Street Machine of the Year, Muscle Machine of the Year.
Yep.
Okay.
And so what we wanted to put some separation between those two awards. So it wasn't,
So it wasn't-
that one wasn't lesser than the other.
Before you get that, the creation of Muscle Machine and Street Machine, what was Muscle Machine supposed to be when Street Machine existed?
This is prior to my time.
Okay.
I would think that it was a more obtainable way for somebody, a builder up and coming, to compete with a car of that style, but not have to make the trip and the commitment to go out to Columbus, because it's Muscle Machines picked regionally.
Right.
So we'll pick
The finalists are,
eight of them, 8 finalists throughout the year at different various events.
I wanted to know, and that makes sense because there's for a while, it was still super important. Muscle Machine was kind of looked at as second place Street Machine.
Street Machine light.
There was
That's not a bad thing. Don't take that as a
and
dig.
there was a lot of them that if they didn't win Street Machine of the Year,
Yes.
they would go for the next Muscle Machine.
They'd go to
finalist
Texas.
and-
Know the game well.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's not
not a bad thing.
That's the kind of the way it is.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking like how it started. That became the thing. So you wanted to do a separation.
Put some separation between the two so that they could both stand their own, right? So the Street Machine of the Year deal in Columbus on the autocross track was basically just to see drivability. Does it turn? Does it go? Does it stop? And so we got them in the autocross racers, they were like, we're carving 2 hours or an hour out of their day to do this.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, like we could prove that they turn, stop, and go in a different way. So we do a parade lap, and with the Street Rod and Street Machine of the Year contenders, now we've done that the last 2 years. It worked out pretty well.
I should be sponsored by a radiator company.
What's funny is that we've had some builders that are like, this is more of a test of my car
Idling
sitting
through
here
the
idling
fair.
for 15 minutes than running 2 45-second laps.
Yeah. Especially in Columbus.
But
Yeah.
the other one of the other components on that too was that thought of not necessarily a pro street car, but if you wanted to build for Street Machine of the Year a skinny front tire car,
Yeah. Stylistic wise,
it opens up the door so that it's not just all kind of quote unquote pro touring machines.
Yeah, if you put that style of car on an autocross track, you're like, well, that doesn't fit, but it still should fit the award.
yeah.
And so on the other end of that, which I think has been an improvement, is the Muscle Machine of the Year is strictly performance. And so they qualify regionally on the autocross track. They got to make their 3 hits and then get selected and become a finalist. Once they become a finalist, we invite all those finalists down to Texas, which is coming up at the end of September. We do a 100-mile, around there, reliability run, make them autocross again in Texas. Then we do the drag strip runs on pit road, like we do with Hot Rod of the Year in Nashville, and then they go on the track cruise. And so it's kind of what I've tried to summarize it to some people that have asked me is like, it's the Hot Rod of the Year for muscle cars.
Makes sense.
Drivability, performance, like
how much does all of those?
Is this a really usable car?
Yeah, make it usable. Yeah.
I know these aren't points things, but what's percentage of each of those individual components of that weekend add up to the pick?
I'd say it's a checklist.
Okay.
Did you do it? Got it? Did it?
There's style points involved if you're drifting it, sliding around, doing big smoky burnouts versus just kind of putting around at 25 miles an hour.
Put some effort into it for sure.
You're not going to get points taken away, but you can absolutely get some bonus stars.
That's a good way to put it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all like we're evaluating everything, right? Like,
Everybody did it.
Yeah.
These 3 guys did this thing and this thing.
If you just throw it and drive and idle through or whatever, like
it's a check, but
it's a check, but it's
putting separation in between Street Machine of the Year and Muscle Machine, that makes a lot of sense. I'm glad. I think that was something that was important for us to talk about for people listening to understand why. Because you did hear there are some builders out there that just don't stylistically build what the Street Machine of the Year car had become.
Yes.
And that's not that they can't build a good car. It's just that's just not their deal. Mm-hmm. So the fact that it's not there for other people to look at, they don't debut it because it's like, no, it's just. I think it's important to kind of change that. Did you guys see a shift that you didn't like particularly care for in the Street Machine of the Year style-wise because it had been autocross heavy for so long, it had been performance heavy for so long that we were starting to lose some of the glitz and glamour that was Street Machine of the Year?
I don't think that came into the factor. Like the style of the cars that are being built, like we're still looking for the top, 54 to 87, or we go 99 on the Street Machine now. So like we're still looking for the best car in that year break that fits that to come out to Columbus and win Street Machine of the Year. So
right.
I don't think we were necessarily pushing back against the pro
what the industry was doing
like that. I think we just it was more of an internal thing in terms of how we separated Muscle Machine and Street Machine.
It was more to prop up Muscle Machine, to bring it up, because we kind of felt like it kind of like redheaded stepchild. Like we're like, we need to bring this up. If this is the top 12, like we need to bring this up to where it stands on its own 2 feet. So,
what do you guys see as the next exciting trend? What's gaining traction? What are you seeing more cars being built in a certain?
We were going to ask you that.
We've got our own ideas, but
I think we have similar ideas.
To ask, so off of that, will it always and forever, hard fast rule, be the terrific 12?
Top 12? Yeah.
That's a good question.
Top 12.
Yeah.
Thriving.
Because that answer to that changes the answer to what you just asked.
Well, so are you thinking it should expand or
I don't see why you would take them away.
Okay,
But it's been funny over just my relationship with different staff at Goodguys for the last 20 years. It's just that, not it's a hard fast rule, but there's just that thing. Well, it's 12. Well, it could be 13, but it's 12 though.
It's unlucky number.
And it's like, but it could also be 13. But it's always 12. Well, what would you have to take away? Well, you don't have to take away. You can add. It's always 12. And that's not a dig. Again, it's just I'm really interested in having some of these discussions because I think it's so many listeners have talked about these same things with either you guys or other people or even just internally around the parking lot when you're just spitballing, right? I'd be like, oh, wow, with this. Well, it could be 13. Why does it have to be 12?
I think we actually have had some of that conversation in terms of should we add something? If so, what would it be?
Because we've changed a couple and rewarded some of the titles and whatnot. and we had conversations about adding and subtracting, going down to 10, and it just rolls off the tongue, top 10, top 12, whatever, but we don't want to take away. But we also just don't want to make a knee-jerk reaction and add something just for the sake of adding it.
And then have to take it away in 5 years if that trend dies.
Right, or if the cars don't show up or how to execute it. Like the top 12 program is the top level for good guys.
Yep.
And so it's something that we, a lot of thought goes into modifications that we do with that program.
Oh, 100%. And you've got your reputation and your brand. You got your name you're putting on it. I hope you guys, I would assume so. I hope you guys realize the power that you do have, though, to give like we talked about before. Sometimes you're pulling and sometimes you're pushing. The power you have to do a little pushing.
That's where I was going. Like if there's another genre or two out there that there isn't a big award for, there's not as much attraction to build those.
It's chicken and the egg thing.
Or there's a lot of guys building them and they've got nowhere to show up with them.
I think about that like with four-wheel drives to a certain degree, and we've had a few Truck of the Year early and Truck of the Year late finalists that have been four-wheel drives. But then the question maybe comes up: is it fair to evaluate that lifted truck against a lowered truck?
Exactly what we were thinking about.
No, that's
two different builds. And
well, specifically the truck late and the truck early. Put four-wheel drive here just for a second that we're going to get to. Truck early and truck late. Truck early is a little easier. Truck late now is a lot of different years and drastically different trucks. Like truck late, it's not like those are all those are the big three and they do transition. Completely different build styles, completely different level of difficulty, completely different everything. So even just truck late is hard. Then you bring in truck early and truck late, as hard as truck late is, and be like, well, what about four-wheel drive? And make it even more difficult with truck early and truck late, as diverse as those are, and then add another diversity with four-wheel drive. And we're speaking in such vague terms. Four-wheel drive is just four-wheel drive. You're not talking about stylistically wise, because you can take a truck early or a truck late, make it four-wheel drive, and run the gamut style-wise of which way you want to go. Completely vintage Napco look, or you want to do a more modern street rod, everything done up, built. It makes it extremely difficult on your guys. But to feel like you can't say, well, it's not a big enough market, and we're saying, well, you make it and the market will come. Like sooner or later, it's got to be a push.
Build that same box.
Because it makes a huge difference for builders like us, manufacturers for us, for the customers and the people that are like, well, shit, they've got this. Now I've got it. Like, okay, now I can compete against vintage four-wheel drive trucks. Right. Let's build something fucking bitchin'.
And that's one of the editorials we did.
Yeah, it gives you it's just like the road tour gives a customer a reason to build a car. Mm-hmm. It sounds funny, and maybe like to Josh's point, maybe you guys don't realize the power that you hold, but when you set these things, there are people that do build stuff specifically for it,
even if they don't admit it.
I mean,
most of the time they don't admit it,
but plenty of them do.
Now they're gonna.
Where do you see?
They might bitch about the outcome, but they're gonna build it.
So where do you see Delmo's trucks that he's built recently? Those are crazy four-wheel drive, super detailed, super traditional, like the 59 that he built.
Yeah.
How would that stack up against a lower traditional or street rodded 55 to 59 Chevy pickup?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're bringing it out for Truck of the Early, right? Like that is the option at that point.
Yeah.
And we have to just go with what we have right now.
Please don't take this as like we're trying to pitch you.
No.
This is an open dialogue
I'm
of
not.
like,
and I'm a truck
so
guy.
so many nuances in the truck world makes.
I'm a truck guy, and that's the world I live.
When you're talking about
I understand
the Delmo trucks, and we were saying, do you get more like style points when you're doing Street Machine and doing donuts and shit? I wonder if Delmo's truck was there and you've got Eric Black smoking hand-rolled cigarettes next to it,
he wins
in
every
like
time.
a distressed leather jacket.
It's Eric
Those
Black.
are points.
You just give the award to Eric Black.
Just walk it.
Right?
Nobody else gets the final. Just
You have to
walk
build like dirt mounds for them to
Yes, absolutely. Do an off-road course while we're there.
Yeah, it's interesting the power that your event has, specifically around the awards, especially when the awards have become topic of such contention so many times too, it also has that much power to kind of shift, directions of industries, like exactly like you talked about with the road tour stuff. The only other one that I would say when you asked about what's the direction, 4-wheel drive and truck late is like, I don't have the answers to it. That's the one that's like something needs to be fixed. Go ahead.
Truck late.
The Fantastic 14.
That rolls off the tongue,
Doesn't it? Right?
Because
so you do the 4-wheel drive and then the late.
Where would you find the break in late? Because I don't think our late personally is too out of whack.
73 and later.
Okay, so square bodies and OBSs in their own deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude,
Because there's that big of a difference between a 70
square body and
a
67 to 72 is tough.
That's
the same truck.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, do you see a difference between a 70 C10 and a 75?
OBS, I feel, is
Right.
pretty different, drastically different.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I think when you start utilizing a plastic of some sort on the exterior of any of the trucks,
super
it
light.
goes into a different category. The next thing I was going to, when you said Fantastic 14, Fabulous 14, maybe.
Yeah, Fantastic 14's better.
It's kind of a Marvel thing
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
The late, but the late is not just trucks, because we're just talking about genres, right?
Yeah.
So Fox bodies
Yep.
and third gen Camaros
And
G bodies, those are different vehicles to build against a first or second gen Camaro,
Yeah.
against a Chevelle.
It's harder.
And I'm not saying one's better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different thing. You don't put street rod and hot rod together. They're different builds. And that's a very similar way of, it's kind of different, but
Yeah.
and I don't know what you do. I get
yeah,
you're
getting-
saying that the group is going to be like, oh, what are we going to do? Put a big ass award and put 3 fucking cars in it? I completely understand where you're coming from.
No, but I get what your thought process is. The thing is now you're cutting into the square body years with the IROCs and the Fox bodies. So you can't go off a year break. You're literally
Yeah,
going
on
to
the
go
car
off.
side. Car versus truck.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Street Machine late.
Now we're going
Fantastic
15.
15.
Is it 15 now?
The fucking 15.
This is gonna be the fucking award ceremony is going to go till 7:30.
We try to keep it under an hour as it is.
But
Go all night long.
and this isn't specifically, hey, you got to fix this, you got to do a word thing. It is an interesting thing because it's not like you're shifting the gap this way, right? Because this down here, a Tri-5 ain't going anywhere because the guy's going to build a third gen, right? So it's just getting like this.
It's just growing.
It's just growing.
And
right?
we knew that cracking the door open. Like we did that Fox body, debuted at SEMA to open the years to 87.
Yeah.
And then that was 2 years we did that. And then we went to a rolling 25 for 2 years, which was rolled it up to 1998, 1999 to get the OBSs in there. And then it was to a point where like, we got to stop this at 99. Like there's no more rolling 25. It's just 99.
But it's difficult for a guy to come into a shop and be like, all right, let's do a Fox body. Let's throw everything at it, right? Let's go try to win Street Machine of the Year, right? Dutch Boys did it with a G body, right? And that shows you what you have to do, right? And that's not exactly, they're not standing on every corner of the street to grab a third gen Camaro or a Fox body and do something to that level
Right.
to compete against.
Well, one argument on that, though, is we had a really great, and actually we've got one this year, too. We had a really great Fox body last year in our Muscle Machine of the Year finalists. Came down to Texas, did the whole thing.
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
Yeah.
And,
cool
and,
car.
and,
Good car.
and then another one this year. and I guess, like, the part of what you just said about, like, well, not built to this level. Well, to me, Street Machine of the Year is built to this level. But that's where the Muscle Machine falls into play because it's like, okay, if you're not going to take a third gen Camaro and build it to this level, you can still build it to this level and be
Yeah,
really
and
competitive.
I
for
guess when I
Muscle
meant
Machine of the Year.
level-wise, it seems as though Street Machine of the Year level is here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to take Fox Body 3rd Gen GN, you're going to have to go to here,
Also, overbuild, basically.
overbuild to even have a chance. Because,
Well, we'll see with Troy bringing his third gen out. That's been a long time coming.
dude, if you take 27 years to build it, like it better be fucking perfect.
Yeah, anybody could do that.
He can build
right?
something perfect in a year. If he's at 27, the thing better fucking hover. I want to see Adam driving his like damn, look at that. That's fucking awesome.
Puts AirNet out to a new level.
It better.
Wheels fly flat comes up.
It should be hydrogen powered hover. And when he parks it, he's just handing out the cure to cancer on the back of it. Like, dude, not only do we build something about it, come up, get your pill. Cancer's done. We've solved it. Like,
Oh man.
We'll see. I think it's coming this year.
It is coming.
26.
It might fall short on some of those.
It's a high bar.
Yeah, you're setting the bar high.
But you see, that's a third gen. Everybody knows the level that thing's going to be at. Mm-hmm. To my point, that's a third gen that's at a level that's way crazier than what most street machines. Not that they're not built nice.
Right.
That it seems like you've got to go to that level, because it's a little different. It's a little out there. It's not exactly in the norm, right?
It's not this. I don't think this is supposed to be. This isn't like an inclusive thing. Like if you want to fucking win it, then win it, right? And you know that bring it. Yep.
Like the best car should win.
Yeah.
Every year.
Go out.
Get it?
Yeah.
If Dutch Boys GN was like half-assed or not to the level it was, it wouldn't won. But they knew what they needed to do with that car, and they did it, and it won.
100%.
So just do that. It's easy, right? Piece of
Well, if
cake.
that's the case, then just do one award. Put everything all together.
The award.
Cars, trucks, four-wheel drive, all that kind of stuff. If it's just about like build the fucking best, sometimes you do have to have a little bit of a narrowing down of genres and types and stuff like that.
They're narrowed down. They're narrowed down enough.
You don't think there's any room
I
for
think you're
any of
talking
the
like
later
you're getting a little,
muscle car
you're
stuff?
dancing on participation awards a
No?
little bit over there, and I don't like it. I'll be honest. I don't like it.
So throw third gens, Fox Bodies, Grand Nationals, and any of that new stuff
Put 'em in
right
there,
in there
dude.
with Street Machine of the Year.
Put it
There's
in there.
3 categories that one of those cars could win with us: Street Machine, Muscle Machine, and then that most bitchin' down in Texas.
What is the most bitchin'?
It was America's Most Beautiful Street Rod, which was picked out in Pleasanton, and then we dropped Street Rod off of it when America's Most Beautiful, but then the beautiful word was kind of pigeonholing too much stuff and messing with thought processes. And then we went to Goodguys Most Bitchin' and took it down to Texas. So it's at the end of the year, and it's the culmination. It's the final top 12 award picked at an event. Thought process behind that is all these cars that have kind of toured throughout the year, like come down to Texas, final shots win a top 12 award.
Does
So we
Dave
can be a
pick that
street
award?
machine.
He does not. So
They
it
have to
could-
pay royalties for saying it, though.
So yeah, that's open to everything 1999 and older. There's no year, make, model.
So last
cut
year's
off.
top 5, Dave won it last year with that Corvette with the 12 hour. But last year's top 5 was a
Fucking politics.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it must
Was
be
it-
nice to have a TV show.
Yeah.
the top 5 last year was a Henry J,
Big shot.
Pickup,
Safari.
yeah.
Customers. Like money.
Pontiac Safari, the
Alan Johnson Safari.
That thing.
an OBS truck,
Jason Hill's red flame Tahoe.
That's a pretty wide spread of
or no, it
vehicles.
was a flamed OBS pickup.
It was a pickup.
the
It wasn't the Tahoe.
Yeah.
It was a pickup. And then the Tony Army Chrysler 300.
Yeah.
That was a great car.
So it was
What
a kind of a
Yeah.
grab bag.
What beat
Different
Johnson's
styles.
Safari for a cruiser? For
He didn't get it. He wasn't in the running for Custom Rod of the Year.
oh,
Yeah. Because that car never went to a qualifying event.
gotcha. I love that.
But everything's
Well, that
always
car
ever
chose,
so everything's always ever changing, right? Like we evaluate what we're going to pick where, and where we need to recognize some of this stuff. And
Or what went well with when we're especially with that award, which has gone through several evolutions in the last 3 or 4 years. I think that one probably gets more scrutiny than anything internally. Like, how do we need to tweak it? How do we need to make it really maybe better defined?
yeah, but specifically like with that Alan Johnson car, first Goodguys event it came to was Columbus last year. We don't do Custom Rod of the Year there.
Or we didn't at that time.
We didn't at the time. We do now. Because we're like, oh, we should probably add Custom Rod to Columbus.
Do you tell him to bring it back?
he did win GM Iron Builder of the Year with that
Yeah.
car, so he got the crate engine from Chevrolet on that deal.
What's Hot Rod look like going forward?
Same as it has.
Same as yeah. So reliability run, drag strip runs, all that good stuff in Nashville, Tennessee.
We had a great turnout for Hot Rod of the Year. I mean that for
Yeah, I wasn't meaning derogatory. I know there's things that like
and I guess when I hear that question, I'm like, well, nobody's building those early cars anymore.
No, there's-
is kind of but
there's
there was
bitchin' ass fucking
there
hot
was
rods being
there was a
built.
great field this
Yeah.
year. We had a hard time.
there's some changes
narrowing
in
it down.
Nashville though coming, right?
There are.
There are.
Right.
I don't think we can
You don't want to talk
We'll
about
leave
that.
it at that.
That's fine.
There's
I
changes
was
coming with
teeing it
that,
up.
so.
If we don't go there, that's fine. Not a problem.
I'm comfortable saying there are.
All right.
We are still doing Hot Rod of the Year.
Still
in
going to be
Nashville.
Hot Rod of the Year in Nashville.
Cool.
So we can say that much.
Yes.
No problem.
Right on.
You just trying to probe and see if you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get something. If it ain't there, then
Yeah.
no problem.
We're not making you all wait long. It'll be
A few weeks.
October. So
The traditional hot rod stuff has kind of had a big
This
resurgence
is
in the
not
last few
coming out
years.
for.
You say?
And I think, well, I don't know if it's had a big resurgence. I think there's always been a consistent level, but we had a really strong turnout this year of fresh builds, and I think there's just continued interest. It may not be where it was 30 years ago, but
the drivability, everything, like the reliability around the driving, everything. I think that's part of what makes Hot Rod of the Year, a special award for people to try to win.
yeah.
I think that Hot Rod of the Year. Forget about quantity of applicants' cars. Overall quality and enthusiasm, I would say from the outside looking in, is significantly higher than what a Street Rod of the Year has been over the last few years, I think.
Well, I think part of that is that, in my mind, Hot Rod of the Year doesn't have to be as technical, so to speak. It doesn't have to have as much one-off stuff, or it doesn't have to have,
Yeah. But you're not even
it could be-
seeing some of that. The Street Rod thing is interesting to get into from,
Minus this year's.
yeah, well, again,
Right.
must be
Politics.
nice.
Again, politics.
Yeah, politics.
You
Troy,
could-
Troy wins everything.
You could build a cooler hot rod of the year easier.
Right.
It's more obtainable.
potentially.
Yeah.
I think it's
yeah.
more obtainable.
And stylistically wise, it's Street Rod is interesting because Street Rod is a fairly generic term, and you look at Troy, and then you look at some of the stuff that Jesse's built on some of the track nose stuff, and I mean John Hall's car. But
It can
traditional.
it can be an early style, yeah, like John Hall's track T, or it can be something like a Wes Rydell fat fendered Cadillac. It's such a spectrum.
Problem that gets you on from a builder standpoint is like going down the path of Greening's, John Hall's track T. You start getting in there, and I've been there before, where it's too nice for a Hot Rod of the Year, but it's too Hot Rod for Street Rod of the Year, and you fall into that pigeonhole, and you're like, damn it! Well, it's supposed to do like more like rattle can black, or like you're supposed to make it like put fenders on it and make it like it's a difficult thing.
Did you ask Bill about fenders and hot rods when you did his interview?
No, we didn't get into that.
We had a little bit of that conversation in
Was he not a highboy guy?
No, not necessarily that, but we had a little bit of a conversation in Nashville this year about, do hot rods look more hot roddy without fenders? And of course, he brought a fendered car and
The last two he's won
argued
with were fendered
vehemently
cars.
against that.
Yeah, I don't think that they could. Like, you look at Henry from Steadfast. Anybody that has an argument against a hot rod looking hot rod with fenders, look at like a Steadfast.
Yeah,
car.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's about as hot rod as it gets, like stance wise, about as badass as it gets.
But flip it. Can you do a fenderless street rod?
Well,
Troy got
Troy's
lucky.
car.
He got lucky.
I mean, I wouldn't.
I know.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I think you can.
Yeah, I think so.
You always wanted to do that 37 wild rods and make it a high boy, didn't you? You were talking about like you had like
You
a way
choked
of
him up.
yeah, you had a way
You
of like
did
you were gonna
not.
blend where the fenders
That's fine. Watch and see.
smooth it out into the
Watch.
body.
That thing's almost ready.
You were even talking about like picking up that vintage style and leaving the mounting holes for the rear fenders exposed.
No, we did it
right? Like,
when we boat tailed it. We did away with that.
You're gonna leave the mold seam
Yeah,
and in yellow fiberglass.
Right.
Or-
it's
you're
just
still
wait.
Big fan of this, huh?
Just wait.
You think we'll see a comeback with like those cars?
No.
90s street rods.
No, God, no.
Do not
Please, no.
I don't think so.
Where did they go? Where the fuck are those cars at?
Off the road. Every single one of them.
There were a lot of them, dude.
That is death
Between
traps.
those, what were the coast
The coast
Coast
cars.
to coast.
Yeah.
OZ.
wild rods? OZ.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think the total volume?
Downs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think the total volume of those? That 37 to 39 ish.
The fiberglass
Thing,
body.
yeah.
You count the truck with it?
Yeah. The truck. I mean, were we talking
There's
hundreds?
350,000 of them made.
Yeah.
Oh, bodies. There's 350
Just think about
vehicles
it.
built.
You know how long? There's a dude, well, a lot of dudes right now that are putting the finishing touches
Yeah.
on that 37 wild rods that they've been working on in the garage since like
I
99.
still think it looks fucking cool. But I also know the sounds. When I look at it, I hear it.
What do you think it's
Even in a picture. If
What do you
I
think-
put it in a magazine, I look at it, and I'm like, oh, I hear it. I hear the way the doors sound.
What do you think riding down 65 I-65 on the way to the Good Guys show? What do you think it sounds like?
Like riding in the back of a Snap-on truck going down the road. That's what it, if you've ever stood in the back of a Snap-on truck going down the road at 70, that's what it sounds like.
It's a road tour car, right?
Those bear claw latches have the most unique clank against the striker that you can't replicate.
There's 6
that.
inches of play in them when they're closed.
What does it sound like cranking up?
Oh, well,
Did the
Hard to
body
say.
make the starter shimmed wrong?
That's what I was gonna say.
If you install, whatever, putting that motor in that body, it like de-shimmed the starter.
It just came with extra flywheel teeth. Just glue them right
what
back
an
on.
era, man. What an era.
Well, it's funny when one labored that much to start and then also never wanted to shut off when it would diesel and run on. It's like, dude, you didn't want to fucking start. Now you don't want to stop.
It's like trying to get my son in the shower.
We
You
have,
can't get his ass out.
we have all had to deal with those. We don't need that to come back. Lots of crazy cool pictures in the time, and lots of
Cool paint jobs.
cool paint jobs.
Very bright paint jobs.
And enthusiasts went on to, a different car.
All right, back to the Fox body, IROC, G body stuff. Do you guys see that as like the next round of where cars are going, what builders are building, how to get more people in the door with those cars?
I think so. And
I think they're part of the equation, at least anyway.
Yeah, and I think a lot of what the industry does kind of forces that too, right? Like when there's components and parts being manufactured for those cars.
Do you think there's any like inherent ride quality or strength issues with like the IROC era? You know, the like third gen. Anything you can think of?
I wouldn't be familiar with that. I've never driven one personally, but
Okay.
yeah. But no, I do think
Dude,
that
you're not.
those
I'm
are.
throwing fucking loft, but you're not taking any of it. You're not taking any. You're not helping me out at all.
They got a lot of sponsors and a lot of vendors. He's not taking a stance whatsoever. Dude's been around for a while.
You're slippery.
Yeah, you can't. But
was
if like
going
there
the other
was a
way.
problem, do you think like a chassis would solve it? I wonder if that would make it better.
I was going industry as a whole. All we hear from like most of our customers is it's what was cool in high school. And as the population gets older, one end fades out. As it gets younger, a new generation comes in.
Right.
And that's like, we're still kind of new to it. And it's like, I don't know that I'd build those, but you're seeing more and more people pick up with that. And I feel like it needs, like Josh had the push pull. If it's being pushed from your end and there's more of those cars coming in, it kind of develops that market, keeps your audience growing, keeps new stuff coming out, which then breeds more innovation, more products, more new builds. Hot rod builders are always just looking for like the next canvas to do their creative thing too.
Yeah.
So I feel like it drives the industry forward with just complete new builds and new styles of cars.
I mean, you guys obviously done a great job. You're in tune with it, right? You've got the past 3 giveaway cars have been.
Yep.
I mean,
Later.
Fox body, the G body, OBS. I mean,
Fox body
square
wouldn't
body
give away
pickup
square,
too,
square
but
body.
Yeah. Square
40
body,
Ford.
OBS, G body, and then threw it back to a 40. But to your point, I mean, obviously you hope that that's the case, but I feel like a lot of this industry is driven upon people putting money into these old cars saying, hey, that's what I had in high school, as you just said. The fear that I have with that thought process moving forward is my generation. I graduated 2006, so that's kind of around where I'm at. A lot of people aren't driving.
That's my next question.
They're not driving. They're Ubering everywhere, and they're
Oh, that's
content
just
with
you.
the
That's just you in California.
just me in California. But I have concerns that there's not as many diehard gearheads that are my age that want to invest the money in the cars.
Well,
because they have a soft spot for it because they had it in high school.
I don't think that reduction is as significant as maybe you think. I don't think it's even probably measurable. My question is going to be that those cars that you had in high school, as that age continued, not everybody had an American-made car in high school.
That's true too.
And there's still going to be guys that are passionate and got some money to build a car. My question is, on the good guy side of things, what do you do on the foreign side, whether it's powered by American or not?
And I mean, our year cutoff applies to vehicles. So if it's 1999 or older, it's open to a Good Guys event.
Huh. Okay.
It doesn't have. That's why it's not.
That's why you
just
see
American powered. Like that's why
you see
Volkswagens
and we've started to see Datsun Z cars and some things like that.
Yeah.
It's still. I mean, it's
fucking Ring Brothers built an Aston Martin. I mean, like that's coming.
Yeah. But I think sometimes when you say things like that, like, oh, it's open to any car, like the traditional guy fears that, like, oh, it's all going to be tuners now. It's like, well, no, because when the bulk of the vehicles there are still American cars, if you're socially aware.
Yeah, you're self-regulating.
It's pretty well self-regulated.
You're like, this is not a place for us.
Yeah, and we get a handful of them, and actually most of the imports that we do get seem to fit right in, are the types of things like a Porsche Speedster or like I said, a Z car or something like that. That a lot of gearheads or of a lot of hot rod guys
there was that wide body Mercedes from 2022 with an LS7 in it from Boviesco.
Oh, the red one,
Red Pig 2, like tribute type car.
Yeah, that was like 18.
Podcast.
Yeah,
He just did another Mercedes. Just got it done.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the cars are being built, and it's not going to be a tuner takeover. But anything older than 99 is welcome to a Good Guy show.
But back to the point on like the Fox bodies and third gens and stuff like that. Well, I see more Fox bodies than I see third gens right now, and I think they were just a more popular car in the 80s as part of it.
Yep.
But I also think so. I graduated high school in 1990, and the gearheads in my school were still building muscle cars. They were still building like traditional 60s muscle cars, 70s cars. If you were a wealthier kid, maybe you got the new IROC. So I think a lot of people in my generation still like that 60s and earlier stuff. What I think is interesting to look at right now for us is I look at the next generation award winners at our event, which are 30 and older, younger 30. Than 30 and younger, and it's surprising to me how many of those kids are still building 65 Mustangs, 75 square body trucks. A lot of trucks.
Back to what their parents were into instead
maybe
of high school.
and I don't know if that's a function of maybe growing up in a car family, what their parents were into, or that sort of thing, or if it's a function of there's some novelty with something that's older than they are.
They're affordable.
They're still affordable, and they're easy to work on. There's less
plastic.
They're less plastic, or if the electronics is intimidating, there's less of that too. So it may seem simpler. It's been interesting to me since we went to later years how many like 80s era vehicles that I see that are driven by an older person, like the guy who bought that 86 Trans Am new and has just babied it its whole life. That's some of what I see. But I also think the other challenge is that I think there are some guys who still look at, especially when they're looking at having a pro-built car, they may still be looking at, well, if I build a first-gen Camaro, I know there's a market for it. It's going to command a certain price. And if I build a third-gen, is the market there if I need to sell that car? Is it going to go for as much? And that'll change in time. But I think
Somebody's
now that might
create
be
that market.
That's true.
Yeah. I see. I think the value discussion isn't like it once was, even 5 or 10 years ago. They definitely don't have that
mindset.
The mindset has never even been a question. At least with most of our customers, like it used to be, where it'd be like, man, I know I'm going to lose some money, but saw this one went for this, saw this one went for this. Whether they were planning on selling it or not, it was like that validation. I think the validation came from the industry, from the shows, from auction stuff, the notoriety. Now they've got the validation. Mm-hmm. Like they plan on not ever selling it anyway. They don't need to have somebody like tell them what the value is, or like, well, I'm going to have
what I want.
Possibly the craziest one. It might win this award. It's going to be in these magazines. Blah blah. The value's there because it's one of the best. we're going to get into standard questions here in a second. But first, before that, what is something now that we've talked through all this different stuff, a lot of different topics. What is something that you wish you could address that you would wish people understood about Goodguys more, or a misnomer or a myth or something that you could be like, no, I want to set the record straight right now?
A no parking sign actually means no parking by the sign.
That's like the city that does that. Goodguys, like, they don't really care. They said,
Man, got me.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a hard one to. I think the biggest thing for me is when I talk to somebody who's maybe not a Goodguys regular, maybe has just heard about it peripherally, that sort of thing, but is into cars, who sometimes thinks, well, either my car's not good enough, or that those events are only for a certain level of car, that sort of thing. I still like to think of it as a, hey man, everybody's welcome, and and we love it all kind of a
I mean,
deal,
Jesse
so.
Greeny brought a Maverick there. I mean,
Right.
if you let that thing in, then like obviously it's open for everybody.
Come on. No, I mean, but it's pretty surprising. If you walk through the spectator parking lot, you'll see 69 Camaros and C10 trucks and Impalas and Mustangs and whatever out there. For me, some people who aren't Goodguys regulars that do come, they have crossed that threshold into being a participant, is they think it's so structured that they have to park and do doings if they brought a 32, or they have to
Park in the Camaro Corral.
They have to be in the Camaro Corral, and they're just like, I don't want to go there. It's like, no, like, you make this event whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Like if it doesn't have a no parking sign and it's not a vendor booth space,
Slide on in,
claim
power
it.
park it.
Take
And if
it.
you want to park with your buddies, over here,
Yeah. Like if Dad's got a 32 and you got a Camaro and your buddy's got a pickup truck, park together. You don't have to do a
That's
special
a good-
parking area.
You said the key word there, that when it's not a vendor's booth, because
Because that happens a lot.
dude, that is the one I'll
Do not park.
never understand it. That out of you have, I mean, how many parking spots do you think there are at like Goodguys?
Not as near as good as that one though, right there in our booth.
But the one that's
They might
like,
be next to
I
the
mean,
big
dude,
semi-truck.
it is like right, like dead center in front of the tractor on our rig, and it's always like the 39 Plymouth. And that dude, he just backs it
They
in.
only came in purple.
And-
I don't know
yeah.
why the 39
and
Plymouth
shuts
only
it
came in
down
purple.
and is absolutely appalled when you politely tell him you can't park there.
Yeah. No,
That's fine.
this happened in Colorado 2 weeks ago. Is we're trying to set up our awards ceremony and the band's playing at the stage and we need to set up some folding tables, right? And there's this fellow parked there and it's on Sunday, so we know how Goodguys at Sunday is. And I asked this guy, I said, do you mind moving your car? I got to put some tables here, getting ready for our award ceremony. And he's like, well, where do you want me to park? I was like, I don't know.
Literally
The grass right there.
That
the
one,
grass
that
over
one, that
there.
one,
Like
that
I'm
one.
pointing out empty spots, and I'm like, it's on the grass
5,500 parking spots.
within. Like I could throw a rock and hit this empty plate. Like I'm like, you're still on the grass. You're just over there because I gotta coordinate this off for my tables. And so there's that end of it too. Yeah.
A young and up and coming builder, right? Car builder only. He's wanting to get his name out there. I think it's gotten way better. However, in the past, there was, like you said, that there's the stigma of it being structured. Like I got to park in a certain place. There was a stigma amongst young builders. We all felt it. We all talked about it. I gotta have a big rig. I gotta do whatever I gotta do to show up and be on the midway. I'm not selling any parts. I'm not selling any shirts. I've got the car that I just barely got done. I donated a bunch of time and labor, but I need everybody to see it. What do you tell a young builder, short of getting his car done and bringing it to the awards, what does he do to utilize Goodguys to the fullest to get his name out there?
Not marketing, like networking. Networking. Come out there. Talk to all the manufacturers. If you've got vintage air in this thing, walk over to Rick Love. If he's there, someone at the vendor booth, just say, hey, thanks, I got this new car over here.
Yep.
Talk to any of the parts providers, anybody that you know in the industry, just get your name out there and try to draw attention to the car that you brought.
I think park it in Builder's Choice is the thing I always tell people. It's like, because that's where obviously the Builder's Choice selector is looking for stuff, but it's also where a lot of our awards team is also looking for award recipients too. So that's, if you really want to get noticed and get on the radar, that's where you park. And I know a young builder that I can think of who brought a couple of cars to Des Moines this year, and one of which was in bare metal, unfinished, and put them both in Builder's Choice, and just got a ton of attention because
Reviving.
Revamped, Rob?
Revamped.
Yeah, with that bare
With
metal
T-Bird.
T-Bird. Yeah.
T-Bird.
Yeah, so he came out and
Revamped,
brought and got an award with a bare metal car, and talked to a lot of fellow builders and started to get his name out there. And it's I think showing up is the first thing. And then when you're there, not just
capitalizing on it.
Yeah, not just sitting in a lawn chair behind the car.
Drinking beer.
Yeah. I think Steven had great suggestions. Go start talking to the manufacturers whose products you use. Go introduce yourself to a builder you admire and say, like, hey, man, always liked your work. Would like you to come check out my work. And it's cool to see the builder community. They start sharing photos of other people's rides like that. And I think it's, I don't want to say it's not competitive, but I want to feel like it's, I think builders really like to support each other.
100%.
Yep.
And so they'll celebrate you if you're building quality stuff.
Well, and breaking that up, like the networking and not sitting behind your car just drinking beer, like you got to break that up, right? Because network on Friday, park your car in Builder's Choice on Saturday, and make sure you come check back, because you don't know who's going to come by and look at your car and want to ask you questions.
Yep.
So you got to break up the event
You got to work it.
Yeah.
And don't overlook the hotel parking lot.
Yes. That's true.
It
It's
is
absolutely true,
A
because
lot of
that's
deals
where
done in the
you're-
parking lot.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you're going to meet a lot of people. Columbus is a perfect example.
Yep.
There's more networking and hanging out and fun conversations there than there are at the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the key, man. Get out there. Like I think you need to earn the beer drinking part. You probably got to spend a good 10 to 15 years not beer drinking, and sit there and represent your car and your shop well. Mm-hmm. And when you're like a seasoned older builder, and you have a shop full of work, then
Drink.
Yeah, you can
Have
kind of
fun.
hang out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not all about selling, but the Builder's Choice, to your point, that's the spot, man.
Mm-hmm.
Put your car there, be with the car, be personable.
I look
Shake
at the
hands.
guys
Another
like
thing
the
on
Blue
the-
Sky guys have done it so
They're
good.
great.
Yes.
Great.
So personable, repetitive conversations, face with the name. It doesn't hurt that they're bringing fucking bangers of
good
quality
cars.
cars back to back to back. But they're doing it the right way. You face with the name, you get be at the right place, right time. A lot of places, it's
Well, the other
a
part-
lot of places is the key. Cause
Yeah.
we've never shown them to one show and then sold 3 car builds. You're like, all right, we're good for 4 years.
Yeah.
It's you got to keep going. The amount of times we've walked away from a show like, man, this sucked. We didn't sell anything. And then 6 months later, phone calls come in and oh yeah, I saw you at Des Moines, and we thought Des Moines was a horrible show for us for that year. And then you sell 3 or 4 chassis or one build, or it just kind of you got to see out there, so you're not
I know your staff's not going to want to hear this, but those builders don't have to buy a vendor spot. They
Well,
don't.
and-
they should build a car.
Some do if you have a product.
Some do. 100%. I agree. But I'm saying this: the guy that it's him and his wife, or maybe a fabricator, and they've got the first car that's out there, or whatever. Don't get yourself chasing something that's not needed.
But the other side of that is that you can have a vendor spot, but it doesn't have to be a trailer or a rig. You can put up a 10 by 10 easy up and park a car next to it and have your banner hanging behind it and do it pretty affordably and pretty low key too. And that maybe that's year 2. Maybe year 1 is just showing up. Year 2 is the banner and a small booth or something like that.
Well, then how do you monitor? Because here's something, we'll just get this out there because it's something that's maybe a little, or was a little frustrating to me. Now it's just whatever. There's an in between there. There's the guy he's young, he's upcoming, he's been busting his ass, he's sitting in the Builder's Choice, and he's marketing his car and his shop really well. There's another step of that, which is having a booth, and then there's an in between. There's the guy who shows up and he's got his car parked somewhere with some signage, a bunch of literature. He's handing stuff out. He's got a tent up with his shop name on it. He's in the autocross. He's over here. And he's sort of a freeloader, How do you guys handle that, right? Because then there's...
He's an enthusiast.
Maybe this is controversial. I feel like there's the right ways. It's that entry-level way. It's the stepping up to a booth. And then there's what I think is the wrong way of that in-between section.
Yeah, one thing, and I'm not going to dodge this. One thing I haven't done is work sales for Goodguys.
Yep.
But I do know that they do treat stuff like that the same way of a commercial vendor trying to get a swap meet booth
Yeah.
and go out to the swap meet.
Got it.
So I know that it is addressed, and those
Okay.
those loopholes do try to get fixed. I don't know what the remedy is or what the conversations
Yeah.
are like, but we're aware of stuff like that happening. It's
I think that the best way to answer, like, you should be self-aware and cognizant. There's going to be stages in your career building cars. We're not talking about manufacturers. We're not talking about anything. We're just talking about guys that start a hot rod shop, going to build a car, and want to make it in this industry. You're going to build your first one. You're going to show up. You need to work the shows, work Builder's Choice, everything that you just said to do. And you're going to be a taker from Goodguys for a couple of years. Then there's going to be a time where it starts evening out, right? And you're getting as much as you're taking. Or you're
I
giving
don't
as
know
much
what
as
you're
you're taking.
saying, and again, we could follow this again under the edit out. It sounds this is like a tops and bottoms thing. It's what it sounded like.
Then there's going to be a
The way you're
point in your
the way you're
career
saying it.
when things start shifting, right? And you're able to give back. Just make sure that you remember how much you got from Goodguys, from any other event that's made you, financially stable and got a shop and got some customers and all that. When it's right for you, you start giving back at the appropriate level. Maybe it's the tent, maybe it is the rig, right? And we're going to sell some merch, and we got these few little parts and stuff like that. Just making sure that you give back to the thing that made you get to the point where you could give back. You're an asshole, Bird, because that makes a lot of sense.
Well, it took you a while to get there.
Just let me get there. You got to make the point correctly.
If you just get there faster, and then I won't chime in like that. You got there was what you did. You made a good point. You did.
Yeah, and I'm the one that's not nice. Tracks. Fucking tracks.
I wouldn't do that to just anybody. Right? That's I saved that treatment exclusively for you.
An idea kind of based off of that. Would there be an avenue in Goodguys where you have a special area for first-time builders, first-time exhibitors, where you just have, like, say, Columbus, the what do you call it? The little pavilion that's open on all the sides next to the Bricker building, where you just stack that with first-time builders.
it's a good idea.
Yeah, I was going to
Phil's
say
dropping fucking bangers
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Cheaper booth entry, they can afford it. It
You
opens the
get
door
good
for a lot of...
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
kind
think-
of like the new product showcase we do, and it's
it would be
new
kind of a
builder
new
like
kind of a
a
new
new
builder
builder
showcase.
showcase,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and to kind of add to what we were saying initially about how do you get some recognition or how do you make sure you're playing the game right if you're a new builder coming in. Part of that is just introduce yourself to the Goodguys staff. Whether it's someone like Steven or myself or someone like Sadie on the sales side, and don't be afraid to ask questions. It's the same thing as you would do in any business. Like, make sure you're asking questions.
What was the marketing guy again? What's his name? That was because they're probably going to go to him.
I would say build a social
Or,
media page, like work those marketing
What was the
avenues that
dude's
you
name?
could.
The photographer, was it Kurt?
Kirk.
Kirk.
That's a that might be hard for your average guy to introduce himself to.
Never met Kirk.
Wasn't the most approachable looking.
Silence all around.
Never met him. Never met him. He was
We've got like I feel like
just looked angry
we have
all
like
the
a
time.
certain level of corporate here that I feel like I'm dealing with. My technique
damn.
is not working.
They got
tried
read
to-
certain rules. There was a long list of rules.
Hey, Mark's not
yeah,
here.
Mark
We're
must
good.
be a tough motherfucker to work for. He's got a
nothing
he
to
runs
do
a
with
tight
that.
ship.
I don't know. I've heard stories, but I don't know.
All right, standard questions time. First up, favorite car movie. First of all, standard questions is brought to you by HRE Wheels.
The standard in
The
wheels.
standard in questions brought to you by the Standard in Wheels.
Take it first.
I think Damon's probably got good. You got a lot of hot rod culture, and you've been around. it a
Yeah,
long
well,
time.
I still, mine's the cliche American Graffiti.
thought so.
And the thing that I love about that movie now, watching it a little bit older, is that it's not just a car movie. Like it's really about like deciding what direction you want to go
Growing
in
up.
life and growing up and all that
Yeah.
sort of thing. So I love that about
Pivotal decision. It felt like everything, like the world is ending tonight.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
shit.
Your
Tomorrow
last
is
it. Like how
yeah.
important are these decisions?
Yeah.
And another cliche is I'm a vanishing point guy. So yeah.
American
Weirdo.
Graffiti and Dazed and
movie.
Confused are probably the only two movies that you felt like you were there all night. Like,
Yeah.
you started early, you met up with your buddies, and you were there till the end of it was time to go home.
Literally sunset to sunrise.
Yeah.
And then you weren't a kid
And then
when
you're
the
an
movie went off. Like it was like,
Yeah.
once that's over, everybody's adults. Like, and they just go their separate ways.
See you in 10 years.
Yeah.
So I'll go two. I'm gonna give you one. That's my favorite car movie, and then I'll go more pop culture. But Funny Car Summer.
Yeah.
Yep. Follows Jim Dunn, 74.
Okay.
And I like that one. I got that as a VHS when I was a kid, and there was old footage of him racing at Sacramento Raceway, which is the track that I grew up at. So
That's cool.
But a lot of listeners may not know that one or have seen it. American Graffiti School got ties with the 55 Chevy and everything like that. Side note, what's cool is I got a picture of my son in one of the 3 movie cars that still exist in Pleasanton
Oh, wow.
a couple weeks ago. So
Nice.
that's cool.
That's awesome.
What are your ties with the 55?
We did that 70 years of Tri-5 Chevy celebration.
Yeah.
But then you have the personal tie with the Bunker 50.
Oh, my grandpa's car is a 55 Chevy. Yeah. So yeah, that car is being restored out in Colorado. I tracked it down, called the dude that's doing the restoration, and he brought it out completely unrestored. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
But
Did
a
your
movie,
grandma drive it as a straight axle?
no, it was her grocery getter that he started drag racing, and then he just
Was it
Completely.
210 or
fell there.
hardtop?
I'll show you some pictures after, but it's pretty cool. Gone in 60 seconds. If I'm flipping through the Nick Cage Gone in 60 Seconds, that one will stop me.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie, man. Yeah, those are good pulls. That's the first Funny Car Summer. That's the first time that's come up.
I've listened waiting for someone to say it.
It's the first. Absolute first.
There's a lot of other ones. At Six Pack, nobody pulled that one. What's the other one? Heart Like a Wheel.
I like
that's
Wheel. I
Shirley's.
love that.
Yeah.
There's a
know
lot
Heart
of.
Like a
There's
Wheel.
so many that
Six Pack is
still
good.
haven't come up. The Tales from the Crypt was a
was a
deep
good
pull, deep fucking pull, dude. The
wow.
dude from Garrett's. Now, you remember Tales from the Crypt?
I don't.
As a kid, it was like a series on what was it on USA?
USA. It
was-
was fun up all night.
Yeah.
It was, Elvira would come
It
on
was
and
the
talk
Crypt
about it. It was-
Keeper, the dude that looked like a skeleton.
Yep.
And they were like 30-minute little shows, but there was one episode that had some really bitchin'. It was 57 like gas, no bumper on the front of it, right?
Yeah.
It was, and what the fuck else was
Brad
it?
Pitt.
Yeah, Brad Pitt, young Brad Pitt in it.
Wow.
And
He
it
was
was
in
like
his
first role.
dude,
Yeah.
killer car sounds. It was cool. And I thought I saw all those, and I didn't know that existed.
Yeah. It was wild.
Yeah,
Horrible acting when we were watching it.
that's all right.
Horrible.
Well, most of those are. The Milner fight scene is that great acting, John?
No.
Like, but you still love it.
Yeah. Next up, let's see. Best piece of advice.
You take that one first. That's a tough one.
Wow, that is a tough one. I think it just goes back to, for me, it's kind of give people the benefit of the doubt, and I guess I'm thinking from the standpoint of being at an event, somebody's angry about something. Like I always try and take a step back and figure out, like, okay, do they have a legitimate gripe? Because sometimes the knee-jerk reaction is like, screw you, get out of my face, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But I try and take a step back and think, okay, do they have a legitimate gripe? And if so, how do you handle it? Or how do you just talk them down a little bit? We've learned so many times that like sometimes you just need to listen to the guy complain for a little bit, say, I see your point, I can't fix it right now. We'll see if that's something we can address or whatever. But I guess it's just sort of being diplomatic.
It's good.
Yeah. This is something Drummond told me. And the first year I worked for Goodguys was the year Gary passed away. So I got hired in February, passed away in November. That following season in the spring, Drummond told me, he goes, don't ever try to stop impressing Gary.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I've thought about that for a while.
That's deep, man.
Yeah. It's pretty deep, but it's something that
That's good.
just once a year it pops in my head because this is what he started. This was his family business. And if it's going to continue, try to,
Yeah, keep
that in
impressing
mind.
him.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
Keeps you
really
aligned
good.
with how he ran things. And
Yeah, just
keep
don't let
that
it-
tradition carrying on.
Yeah, don't let it unravel. So
There for a long time we used to do favorite SEMA stories. And I'm going to go favorite Good Guys story.
And feel free to cut loose too. We'll deal with Mark.
Yeah,
All right?
yeah. No, I
We'll
mean,
deal with Mark. Like,
We've got some dirt on
Yeah.
him. We can kind of leverage that the other way.
man, I don't know if it's a favorite, but it's one of the most terrifying.
Yeah,
things
most
that's happened to
shocking,
me. You
most
want to hear
terrible.
something
Yeah.
absolutely terrible?
like yeah.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
How about almost totaling Mark's 69 Camaro on a road tour?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Let it rip.
That was awful.
Yeah.
Damon was riding passenger seat
Yeah,
with me.
yeah, I remember that vividly.
Yeah. We talked about it 2 days ago. So I was supposed to drive the giveaway C10 that Scott's built.
Okay.
And got it home, ran it for a little bit, and then something happened. I don't know. Couldn't take it. So
What happened? Was it chassis related or was it?
it wasn't. It was fuel line burned and
Trying
some
hard.
stuff.
You're punchy.
It was a
Multiple podcasts in one day is not good for you.
fuel delivery issue.
I thought you'd be
on
proud
that.
of me.
I am. I just it's
And it
punchy.
happened the day before we were supposed to leave.
Okay.
So like I had a buddy that I was going to take it to. He was going to re-plumb the fuel system and whatever, but
Yeah.
didn't have the time. So Mark goes, all right. He goes, I'm going to send some people up to your house and they're going to drop off the Camaro to you and you drive that out there. So where was that tour? I drove it from Sacramento to Salt Lake City to kick off the tour. And I
the
think
yellow
we went
one?
the yellow one.
Yellow
yeah,
69,
the
yep.
69.
WeatherTech.
Yeah. And the tour went Salt Lake down to Texas.
We ended up in Texas. Yeah, we wound through Colorado
Yeah.
and
So we're zipping along some back road, probably going
near Grand Junction.
Yeah.
No, not Grand Junction. Near Pueblo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably going 10, 15 over speed on, right? Not hauling ass, but clipping along. And we're through a 4-lane small town that's got the middle of the lanes where they could pull into the middle and continue their left-hand turn. So it's me, my buddy Bob, Harold Chapman was behind us, and Steve Legans. And this lady comes out and she nudges it out there, the nose out there, and then reconsiders. So she stops. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to keep clipping along. Last minute, she decides to go for it. Just pulls out in front of me. I lock this thing up, dude. 4 wheels, and the Aston starts coming around on me. And I'm like, I'm wadding up Mark's car right now.
Yep.
I was like, don't spin it out. So I let off the brake because I'm like, if I spin it out, I'm done. So I let off the brake, started whipping the wheel. I think I missed this lady's back bumper by a foot, 18 inches.
Everybody behind us was
Everybody.
certain we were going to hit her.
Everybody thought I was T-boning this truck.
Yeah.
Skid marks for 100 feet.
Shit.
And I pulled through that thing in neutral, shaking.
Yeah.
Handed
And then-
Damon the keys. They all pulled over, gave me a bottle of water. They're like,
Yeah.
dude, calm down. Tracy Chapman love Tracy. She's like, sit down, breathe, relax. Hand Damon the keys. I've never driven that car since then.
Damn.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Wrecking
That's
the president's favorite car
Dude, it's always
on a car that I wasn't supposed to
yeah.
be.
It's always the car that like it's not yours and it's always really expensive.
Right.
I'm gonna just chime in because I got a good almost wrecking a car story. We talk about GTs a lot, right?
Huh.
Did you know about the time when I drove Tim's GT?
Ford
Did you
GTs.
also spin it out?
No, I did. He fucking spun it out. But a buddy of mine gets a Ford GT, 2006 GT. Fucking car's beautiful, low mileage, and he's like, "Dude, take the car, and we're gonna go cruise up to Lake Geneva together." And he's driving a Ferrari. So usually I would never take that opportunity because I don't like driving anybody else's stuff. But I'm like, he's a good buddy, man. I'm like, dude, fuck yes, let's do it. We get on to Route 12, and he gets out in front of me, merge onto the highway, and he just gets on it, dude. And then a sheet of like OBS board or plywood or something blows off a dude's truck, lands in the lane in front of me, and just like goes airborne. And it's coming like right like a wall at the front of this car. I must have missed that thing by like that. I mean, it was a great evasive maneuver. And I'm like, Tim, did you fucking see that? No, dude, what happened? I'm like, I almost wrecked your car, dude. But I mean, that's the way it goes, you know?
Yeah.
It's like usually when you try to do something nice, we've had it happen with lending people like
Yes.
some pretty high end cars that come back not so high end cars. But that's the way it always goes. And it's,
Dodged a porta potty that fell off a truck driving the OBS truck.
did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Rolling through LA, it just fell off. It was like 3 lanes over, but not directly in front of me. But it was in the road, and I was like, "Well, I got to get around that."
I was driving the 62 Corvette, the black one. Like, I think it was like the week before Columbus. No, it had to be the week after because we didn't have an interior in it before Columbus. right at the corner here. I'm at a stop, waiting to turn right. A car takes a left, and the whole wheel exits the car, and it's just like rolling right for me. There's a car behind me. I can't move, and this thing just comes like this and just curves, hits the curb, hops up, and goes off in the grass. Like, oh, that could have been
You willed it that way.
stupid expensive.
That's the problem when you're driving something nice like that and you're trying to be so careful. That's when
it happens.
and it's out of your control
Yep.
usually.
Yeah. What about you?
Can I give 2?
Yeah.
Fire away.
Okay. So the first one is, I think it was 2001, and it was, I think, my first time to the West Coast Nationals. I was still working in Southern California, and my buddy Chris Shelton, who was working at Street Rodder at the
Chris
time.
Shelton.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had a bare metal 32 Roadster with a 327 and a 5-speed, and done really kind of 50 style. And we just road tripped up to Pleasanton that week. And
That'd be
like
fun.
and bombed around San Francisco
Yeah.
and like all the stuff.
Living the fucking dream.
Absolutely. So, and just so that whole experience of that weekend, spending time in Pleasanton, spending time at the Goodguys event, cruising around San Francisco, and then the drive home. I still vividly remember the drive home because we took 101 coming home, and so there's a stretch of 101 like between Santa Barbara and Ventura where you're running right along the coast, and it was midnight, and we're running along the coast in this hot rod, and so you got the ocean on the right hand side, and
Yes.
and kind of the Southern California scrub on the left, and it was just, and the small block ringing in your ears and the whole bit, and it was just like kind of that quintessential hot rod moment. And then the other time is I think the first time I went to the West Coast Nationals after coming on board with Goodguys, so it would have been 2017, and that weekend we wanted to have as many Goodguys vehicles out of the event as possible, and so Mark was like, okay, pick a car out of the warehouse and that you want to take out to the show. And one of Gary's favorite cars was for me was the 47 Plymouth, 'cause I'm a Mopar guy, and the fact that the president is a 47 Plymouth coupe, is a yellow coupe with red scallops, and it was like his purple scallops. Yeah,
It's one of his not so well known ones.
Yeah.
but he had built it in the, I think, early to mid 90s, and it was a copy of his high school car. And I always thought it was cool that the president of Goodguys, had this oddball Mopar,
Yeah.
and it's got a flathead 6 and a 3-speed with overdrive and stuff like that. So I picked that, and so cruising in Gary's car, that's a replica of his high school car to the West Coast Nationals. That was just like a very Goodguys moment to me, and kind of a good connection with Gary.
I'll add one more to this just because that sparked something. So you guys might have been on this. You were on the road tour. It was Detroit Speed to Texas. You were in the square body. Your square body. We were in the whatever media car from North Carolina to Texas, and that's the year that Greg Weld ended up driving Gary's 32 sedan for a little bit on the tour because his car broke down or something like that. And Mark goes, hey, he goes, we got to get this car back to California. And this is 2017. Like, I'm with Goodguys for 2 years. I was like, all right. He's like, you want to drive it? I was like, the logo car?
Shit.
He's like, yeah. I was like, all right. So I hopped in that thing, drove, 2.5 days.
That's cool.
By myself. Stuff was wrong left and right. Like, no AC, no radio.
Yeah.
I had a Bluetooth speaker in the
Not
passenger
exactly
seat.
like a road.
Not a road tour car.
Well, it's got a ton of
But a
miles
cool
and
car.
it's well
Yes.
used, right?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it's got these, but then the neutral safety switch was having issues, so I'd have to throw it in park and put my foot out and rock the car and fire and cart, and then
Hot rod stuff.
lost a shock bolt and had to fix that in an Napa parking lot. But it was like my first introduction, really into driving a hot rod. And it was
cool.
Gary's, and the whole time I was like, "This is just Gary messing with me." But it was cool. It was,
tested you.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with this?
Yeah. So it was cool, but it was for twofold. So for doing that, and then also driving, basically, it finished a cross country drive for me
That's
from
neat.
North Carolina to California.
That was. Didn't we go down through? We went to New Orleans on.
Yeah. Yeah, through
That was
Louisiana.
the run we went.
Yeah, that was
Trying to
Ross
catch the
Snowboarder.
alligator.
We had that big old,
yeah.
big old long
We were
bridge.
trying to catch it.
We were gonna bring it back to the parking
There were
lot.
two scenarios.
Yeah,
Both
one
of them
way or
involved
the other.
getting
Us bringing it back.
yeah. Dude, what is
We-
Chris Shelton up to these days?
Just living his best life up in Washington, man. Yeah, just
Still hot rodding or
yeah. I mean, he's still got cars. I know he's still got his 32. He's got some Volkswagens that he's had, for forever as well. doing a little bit of freelance here and there, and some other odds and ends too. I see him most of the time when I go up to Puyallup and cover that event.
Nice. Yeah, cool, dude.
Next up, I'm gonna die. I'm literally about to die.
You can call in sick tomorrow?
No, can't nothing take me out.
Famous last words.
I'm either gonna be here or you're gonna get a call from Jody making preparations. You got to speak.
Yeah. Wait, are you serious?
You fucking asshole. God, I hate you.
What kind of nice things did you say about me when I was on my deathbed? You bring it up like every other podcast.
I didn't say
Don't you?
any. I said what I told you.
Off-putting was the word?
I said
One of the
I said
words?
this is getting a
Off-putting.
little bit much,
Little bit
and
much.
it's super off-putting to go out in public with you. And I also said, if you go this way, do you realize what I'm going to say about you?
Yeah, not
the
great,
funeral.
not nice things, right?
So breathing got too hard, so he just quit. He just couldn't do it anymore. Even that tube of oxygen.
And I'm the not
That's
nice
how
guy.
weak you
I'm
were.
The not nice guy.
You couldn't manage to breathe. That's. You're right. Yeah, not nice. He got better. He didn't have a choice.
He's here.
He didn't have a choice. I was helping you. Let's face it.
I'll
You
do
would
the
have
same.
went to the other side if I wouldn't have told
It's
you
possible.
what would have happened.
It's possible.
Next up, we've got most memorable law enforcement interaction story.
In general,
Yeah, just
with
in,
good- or
in
with
life.
good guys?
Just
in
in
life.
general.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bonus points if it has to do with good guys, but
No, my most memorable one doesn't have to do with good guys. It was just, kind of the typical high school thing. I was coming home from a football game in high school, had a 68 Dodge van. So like the flat front.
Shorty?
A100.
Yes.
And it was a 318 3-speed, so it moved pretty well. And I had just bought it. So it had like in-transit tags. It didn't have plates on it or anything like that. And I wanted to kind of show off to my buddy. I was in the left-hand lane to turn off the main street in my town to a side street and was waiting for traffic to clear. And when it did, I, dumped the clutch and kind of spun the tires going around the corner. Hadn't really looked at the rearview mirror to see that there was a cop right behind me. So, I get half a block up and he gets, he comes right up and flips his lights on. And so he ends up pulling me over literally around the corner from my house. And he's assuming that I'm trying to get away from him. He has no idea that I was just being dumb and totally spacey and didn't realize that he was behind me. And so, he ordered me out of the van, patted me down.
dude, what'd you think about that? That's cool, wasn't it?
And, shining his flashlight at my buddy and, looking in the van and stuff like that. And the funniest thing was at the end of the day, like, the only, he read me the riot act, yelled at me a bunch and so forth, but at the end of the day, he could only write me a ticket for excessive tire noise, and which was, I don't know, $50 or something like that. But it scared me a bit.
Yeah, excessive tire noise. I've never heard that one.
I think he might have pulled it out of his butt. It might have been one of those optional handwrite in the infraction at the bottom of the ticket kind of things. Yeah, so that's it was.
I've gotten failure to make use of the roadway before, but never excessive
tire noise.
Got an improper acceleration, and then a blatant disregard for traction, or there was something about you couldn't just say like you spun the tires. It was something that was written in a way of
Made it
"That's what you
official."
do." Just say spun the tires.
Yeah.
Because I spun the tires.
Car related or just in general?
Just in general.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Okay. 'cause
Unless
this
it's
is-
got you on like a wanted list or you can't live like within a
Statute of
certain radius of
limitations.
certain
No, it was.
things, then
It was.
just keep that to yourself.
It was just being a high school kid, degenerate. So me and two buddies were in his mom's Jeep Wrangler, and we're shooting our friends with airsoft guns at the local Wendy's because that was the hangout.
Yeah.
And we're just shooting people with airsoft guns out of the car.
Yes.
Nobody knew it was us because we're in mom's car.
What year is this?
2003.
A little later in the time than it should be for shooting people.
2003. Yeah.
90s was cool.
I'd say
The 2000s you start
01,
popping.
01, I did the same thing. Airsoft guns,
03.
smoking.
Yeah.
Playing
Paintball,
with
airsoft, all that good
guns,
stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, and watching people give the like
Yeah, they don't know where it's coming from.
It's
Something.
horrible.
So we get a phone call from a buddy who, let's just say, needed us to follow him home. We're like, all right. So meet him up around the corner. Cop gets behind him. And we're like, well, shit, we got to divert attention. So we start cutting the cop off and like drawing attention to us to protect the buddy, right? So inevitably, lit up, pulled over in a parking lot. Cop comes up to us and sees the airsoft guns. And just got an orange tip. That's the only difference. He didn't see the orange tip. So it's gun drawn, get out of the car.
Yeah.
We're like, sweet, this is cool. And we're all 15. And so out of the car, line us up. Enforcement comes. There's like 3 or 4 other cops, 2 motorcycle cops. Full search of the vehicle. And the cop comes over with one of the airsoft guns, opens up his trunk, lifts up the mat, and he goes, what's the difference between that and this? We're like, the orange tip. He goes, exactly. He's like, you guys are idiots. Gave us full dad talk. Full dad talk.
Yeah.
And let us go. Basically,
That's good.
was like, you got a curfew. Like, parents were called, hey, your kids are out past curfew. My buddy was driving with his permit or wasn't allowed to be with people, but it was the biggest, hardest slap on the wrist I've ever gotten.
That's good. It probably straightened you out, though. It did its job.
Yeah,
right?
guns drawn
Guy
at
handled
15.
it, right?
That's cool.
Yeah. We had guns
It's funny
drawn
when you-
once. Remember the paintball
Paintballing,
situation?
yeah.
Yeah, we had guns drawn.
The
They freak
fifth-
out about things that look like real firearms.
Right.
Yeah,
They're probably
Rightfully so.
You can't fault them for that.
It's funny though, 15 or 16, we've all had those, you've all dealt with cops, but then cops and guns drawn, and instantly it's gone so serious because it just 10 minutes before, shoot, you weren't scared of shit. You own the
We were
world.
scaring all of our
You're like,
friends.
dude, fucking, I'm shooting this, blah, blah, and instantly you're like, all right, and you're making those deals with like, I'll never do this again. I'll never do this again. Okay, just don't let my parents find it. Absolutely, I'll go home. I will do my homework every single night, and just it gets real so fast.
Dad might find out about this on this podcast.
Next up, we're rounding the corner to the end. If you were doing anything else in life for a profession, what would it be?
Real easy. I'd be trying to chase the NHRA world, racing professionally.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What type of race car?
I like funny cars. I don't know if I'd be working on them. I think I try to live in the business world, the marketing or the media side of things with NHRA, but yeah, that's where I wanted to land.
Cool.
What do you like funny car more than Top Fuel?
They're cooler. They're harder to drive.
Okay.
Yeah, they're fun. I've worked on funny cars. I did the left side cylinder head on Mark's Nostalgia funny car, and they're just super cool. That's a whole team atmosphere
Oh, I'm sure.
in itself. So
What did it take you to redo a head time wise?
on the nostalgia stuff, so that's basically, think of it as AAA baseball, NHRA Heritage World. They gave us 2 hours between rounds, and that's whether we had to knock some pistons out or anything. But normal maintenance, just pull the head, clean everything. We pulled the rods and pistons, or the rods and pistons out every time. Check the rings, see the skirts and everything. If it claps anything, and put it all back together. But 2 hours.
That's cool.
In a tray world, it's 75 minutes.
That's moving.
Yeah.
What about you?
Is this like pie in the sky? We don't have to have the talent to actually do it.
Yeah, of course not.
100%.
Yeah, it'd be something music related, because that's probably the other thing that I'm as into
yours.
as much
Be a rock star.
as much as cars is music. So yeah.
We're jiving
Instrument?
here.
Any certain instrument?
Well, I played saxophone growing up, and
Okay.
I dabbled in guitar in college a little bit. I'm kind of typical rock guy, so I guess if I were to choose, it would probably be guitar, and figure that out.
Would you pick
somehow.
guitar or drums?
I played the drums.
I know, but if you
the
had to-
I would love to play the guitar, because the drums, like, you don't play a song. Like,
Right.
if you're just jamming at home,
Yeah, you can't just
you can't
play the drums
yeah.
on the front porch. You can strum
Right,
a
and
guitar on the
somebody's
front
like,
porch.
"Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
that's Stairway to Heaven." Like, you're like, no, I'm just like playing a beat,
Yeah. Last but not least, this one's
Getting to be. We don't know if it's a fan favorite, but it's our favorite.
judging by the interaction, it's a fan favorite. Stallone or Burt Reynolds?
In what sense?
Just life,
Life.
Just life.
overall, across the board.
Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna go Bert. Sorry.
It's just, I don't know what the tally is.
Where did that
Be
come
interesting
from?
to see.
An argument between me and Josh.
All right.
Yeah.
And why? Which is short.
Because it's honestly, if you think
They're
it's
wrong.
a pretty
No matter
diff,
why they're wrong.
it is a
Yeah.
pretty deep question,
Well, I think they're
'Cause a
very
case could be
different,
made.
kind of
They're very different.
Yeah.
but similar.
I don't know.
Movie
Bert got all
roles.
the, Bert got all the ladies and the cool cars.
That's 100% right. It's been my argument from the get go. The body count, it's not even close.
What? One cool car.
No, Hooper. He had
Yeah.
well, that was another Trans Am, I guess.
He's
But,
obviously a Trans Am guy.
Cannonball Run, Gator.
yeah.
What did he drive?
Every-
The Cannonball Run.
A Dodge van.
There was all kinds of cool cars in the movie though.
So, Trans Am and a Dodge van. Okay.
If just because Rocky, the character, made some money and had some cool cars briefly sitting in the driveway, does not count. Because you want to put the Cobra, you want to put
I'll put the Cobra in the mix.
Don't put the-
like I'll throw it. I'll put it up against the Dodge van.
The Cobra wouldn't even the Mercury from Cobra wouldn't even be allowed into a Goodguys event. It's that bad. That's the worst car.
All right, shut up. What are your Burt Reynolds reasons? Why do you? Why does he resonate with you?
It's not. Neither one of them
mustache.
resonate. Neither one of
Oh,
them
you're
resonate. with me.
Really?
neither. But if you had to pick one,
strictly just going off the fact that my buddy has a photoshopped sticker of his face over Burt Reynolds.
so that doesn't count. So
It
it's
doesn't
one-
count.
you
So
get
you're
that
not.
as
So
one.
you're neither.
Neither.
Really?
Neither. He's just got a funny sticker that he passes.
So if
out.
you're an action star guy, like a '90s, '80s, '90s action star guy, who's the guy?
I like Mark Wahlberg.
So does my wife.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Shooter.
a lot.
Shooter is.
That's that's interesting.
Shooter is like one of my favorite movies.
I really like. I will say, I really
Yeah,
do like.
Shooter's
this
a
actor.
badass movie.
He's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
No, he's not a badass.
Dude, he's great in everything. Like he's a great actor. I enjoy watching him.
I have to watch him a lot. Our
Yeah, so
wives
do
are extremely similar.
So I think you might understand. My wife
Interests.
will watch Shooter with me.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, I could watch this shoot 'em up movie.
Yeah,
Badass dude takes
Yeah.
over, and she sits there and watches it. So
my wife would rather watch
Just look at the old Calvin Klein ad.
No, what's the Fear?
Fear? Yeah, they like that one.
Yeah, they like that movie.
Oh, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, interesting pick for action star.
I'm not a big movie guy. Let's throw that out there.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're a big Van Damme fan, right?
JCVD.
Yeah.
I wore my black jeans today.
Guys, it's been an absolute blast. You're not going to get fired for this.
No.
You did a great job.
It's good.
You told
Possible
towed the company line at the appropriate level, but also got into some deep discussions that I think everybody would be interested in hearing.
Yeah.
It's been awesome being here, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks-
you guys
thanks
having
for
us.
coming, fellas.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Enjoy the rest of the tour, man.
What's coming up? You got some breaking news about some things coming up in the next few weeks, and what's the next show? Texas next week.
Yep. Texas next week, and then October's we're going to release 2026 schedule and some changes, and then we finish off the year in November, going down to Pleasanton for a get-together, a 2-day get-together out there in Pleasanton, and then Southwest Nationals out
No
south,
SEMA
so
this year, right?
No SEMA for us.
Congratulations to Paul Van Nuss on
Yes.
the trendsetter of the year.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we announced
Well
that
deserved.
his
Yeah.
place,
Very
Think so.
well deserved. Is that how you pronounce it? Van Nuss?
Van Nuss,
Yeah.
So does nice. Van Nuss?
There's no Y in it.
NUS.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul's done some incredible stuff. So.
Yeah, well deserved.
Killing it.
Killing it, man. Absolutely crushing it.
Good people too. They're just good people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Congrats to
helping us
him.
out right now, painting a fox body for us.
Oh, nice.
Saw it. Saw it.
Doing a great job. How does it look?
Looks good. Fantastic. man.
Nice. All right. Look, they're about ready
You
to
saw
live.
the line that he's towed this whole podcast. You've been like, dude, this thing sucked. It's shitty. You're paying him?
Oh, man.
Oh, absolutely great time, fellas. We have had lots of conversations in the hotel parking lots and at the shows. It was time we did it on air, and hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did.
Good, man.
Thank you.
It's great.
Thanks, fellas.
See you again next week.
See you.